Texas, where the grills are hot and the tailgating is in full force. Texas State defeated Georgia Southern in the FCS playoffs in 2005. This time at the FBS level, the Eagles are looking to exact some revenge. Next on ESPN3. Jim Wacker Field at Bobcat Stadium in San Marcos, Texas is the site of a Sun Belt showdown. The Georgia Southern Eagles will try to remain perfect in league play, while the host Texas State Bobcats hope to become bowl eligible with a win this afternoon. Hello, everyone. With former Fresno State coach Pat Hill, I'm Brett Dolan. Thanks for joining us here this afternoon. Coach, we have two high-flying triple-option offenses. It can't be easy for these defenses to deal with this, but then again, they see it every day in practice.
Well, they see it every day, and that's the key. Your eyes. You have to have eye discipline to play the triple option, and you got to make tackles in the open field, get off blocks. Today, tough assignment for both teams.
Let's talk about a couple of quarterbacks because we have two good ones. Now, Georgia Southern will use two QBs, but Kevin Ellison is the man who makes this offense go.
Well, we all know about his maturity this year, his leadership, his toughness. He can run the ball. There's no doubt about that. They don't have big passing stats, but they are number one in the nation in passing efficiency. So when he does throw it, big things happen.
Still more rushing yards than passing yards this season for Kevin Ellison. On the other side of the football with Texas State, they have a sophomore quarterback in Tyler Jones. He likes to throw it a little more.
Well, in high school, his senior year, played in the state championship game and accounted for 9 touchdowns. If he can account for half of that today, Texas State will be tough in this game against Georgia Southern.
Should be a good one today. The Bobcats hope to knock Georgia Southern from the ranks of the unbeaten. It's the Bobcats, it's the Eagles, and our kickoff comes your way right after this. It's a Sun Belt Conference showdown in San Marcos. Georgia Southern against Texas State, and we're about ready for football on this beautiful afternoon here in the Texas Hill Country. Pat Hill, what are some of your keys for this afternoon's game?
Well, some of the keys for this game are, first of all, for the Georgia Southern Eagles, win the running game. For Coach Fritz, when they win the running game in his career as a head coach, 91% wins. No turnovers. When they win the turnover margin by 1, it's 91% wins. When they have 2 or more wins in the turnover battle, it's 100%. But number one, they got to be able to handle the zone pressure schemes of Texas State with their offensive line. On the other hand, for the Bobcats of Texas State, win the turnover battle. Will be critical in this game today. Take away possessions from Georgia Southern. No 3 and outs. They got to win on first down. They got to be in good position running the ball or making yards on first down and minimize penalties. Bobcats can't beat Bobcats here today.
There's a referee, Jeff Hillier. Looks like Georgia Southern will defer until the second half, and the Bobcats will get the football first. Texas State 5-3, 3-1 in conference play. They lost at Illinois in a close game. They lost at home to Navy. Meanwhile, Georgia Southern, this is a team perfect in league play. But Pat, I mean, they were a 1-point loser at NC State, so close in that contest. They lost by 4 points at Georgia Tech. For really their first year going up against this caliber of play, it's been an amazing start.
Well, they're definitely not over their head. They're a very good football team, very well coached. I got to see them a couple weeks ago against Georgia State. Very impressed both offensively and defensively with them. The other thing is, this team, for some reason, isn't guaranteed a bowl game. I believe Georgia Southern, if they win today and win out, should get a bowl game no matter what the circumstances are. This is a very fine football team.
Because of this transition to the FBS level, technically they're not eligible for a bowl game this year. Now, if they're not enough 6-win teams, enough bowl-eligible teams, they could still find their way in. The Sun Belt has 3 automatic entries into bowl games, and I'm with you, Coach. It would be a shame if they went out and they could not find their way into a bowl game.
Yeah, and they'd represent their league very, very well. But today, they got a tough one today with Texas State. Coach Francione has done a great job with this program. They've only been in Division I football for a short time, so you're looking at 2 football teams that have made the stop to Division I, made the step to Division I, and they're both excellent teams.
Had a good look at Coach Willie Fritz on the sideline at Georgia Southern. Couple of Pittsburgh State Gorillas between Coach Francione and Willie Fritz.
I'll tell you what, Pittsburgh State in their heyday, when Coach Francione was the coach, and years past Coach Francione, outstanding football programs. Both of them are Gorillas.
And the kick from Younghoe Koo is going to come down into the arms of C.J. Best. He will bobble it out of the back of the end zone. It'll be a touchback for Texas State. They will go into a pretty stiff wind here in our first quarter this afternoon.
You know, I was down on the field before the game. It is a stiff wind. You can feel it. It is a little bit blocked off from that end of the field where it's closed off, but still the wind will be a factor when they're working this direction towards the closed end of the stadium.
There's Tyler Jones from Stephenville, Texas. He completes 66% of his passes, just a sophomore, but he is a winner.
And be ready, Brett, because this thing's going to go very, very fast.
Empty backfield to start things. No Robert Lowe or Terrence Franks. Jones with some pressure. There's Brandon Smith. He'll make the catch, but lose yards on first down.
Very good job by Jamal Johnson, number 51, defensive tackle. He felt screen. He got out to it.
Texas State playing without Japhus Gaines, one of the big play wide receivers this year. He tweaked a knee last week. Second down 12 here in this opening play from scrimmage. Jones out into the flat. Locates Robert Lowe. He'll get a few of those yards back and bring up what should be kind of a third and manageable. Now here's their offensive starters for this Texas State team. You look at the men up front, the linemen, 37 starts for their lone senior, Charlie Will Tuttle up front. Texas State loves to snap the football with a lot of seconds left on that clock, and Jones will throw again, little flip out into the flat. That's Robert Lowe, and he gets up near the marker. Did he get it? Yes, he did. It looked like he was going to be denied. It was Matt Dobson who had a shot at him, but Lowe able to find enough yards to move the sticks for Texas State.
Missed tackle in the open field. Great second effort by the running back. This is the pace they want to work at. They want to have at least 22 seconds left on the clock when the ball is snapped.
And Robert Lowe, the first running play from scrimmage, just a couple of yards into that stiff Georgia Southern line. Jay Ellison, the nose tackle, first man there.
This is what they don't want to do. They don't want to be in 2nd and 8. They want to be in at least 2nd and 6. Good stop by Georgia Southern.
This is a Bobcat offense. They average 33 points a game, third best in conference play. There's Robert Lowe. Boy, he ran into a wall of white shirts, including Ellison, the sophomore nose tackle, one more time.
I'll tell you this, I saw Georgia Southern 2 weeks ago, and they are stout on defense. They play very physical in front. They're going to a nickel look now. They're in control of the sticks. It's 3rd and long, and you see Georgia Southern going into a nickel defense.
Looked at the starters. Edwin Jackson, the linebacker, the leading tackler on this team. So it's a 3rd and 7. Jones with time to throw. Boy, he's always dangerous with his feet. That one's up for grabs and nearly picked Nick Wright. Had that ball land in front of him. Otherwise, he had the interception.
Well, only a 3-man rush, 8 underneath, and the quarterback had nowhere to go with the ball. Good defensive play by Georgia Southern. They also held in the pocket for any quarterback scramble.
So the Bobcats will have to punt in their opening drive. Tyler Jones will come off.
This is where it's an advantage for Texas State. They got the number 2 punter in the Sun Belt, and they're 3rd in net punting with a 40.1 average. But they are kicking into a stiff wind. Field position could be had right here by Georgia Southern.
Looks like the Eagles coming after Will Johnson. He's got that big leg. Here they come, and here's the boot off in the direction of Trey Butler. Butler going to play the carom. Trey Butler tried to jump out of a tackle, and he'll be dropped shy of the 25-yard line, and that's where the Golden Eagles will take over. And this team, this offense, they lead the nation in rushing yards. 404 yards on the ground per game. This triple option, it's fun to watch, Coach. I can't imagine it's a lot of fun to defend.
Well, it's not, because they executed so well. Now, Texas State has got to be disciplined in understanding formation, set of the back, etc. They have to make stops and be eye disciplined in stopping the 3 phases of the option. We'll see how they do today.
There's your sophomore quarterback, Kevin Ellison. He's run for more yards this year than he's passed for. Matt Breida, an outstanding running back, lines up to his right, and it's Breida who will carry first. Breida just able to push that pile forward for some additional yards until he's dropped at about the 27. And it's Dallas McClarty, the sophomore from League City, Texas, on the bottom of that pile.
Good push by the offensive line. They get a 4.5, almost 5-yard gain just off the dive.
Here's a man in Breida who averages 8.9 a carry. And, Coach, where they are so dangerous is when they start churning up those double-digit carries.
Yeah, they come at you at all different angles.
Ellison will keep. Boy, he was strung out on the corner, and he'll step out near the marker. It was Jermod Williams, the safety, over there near the boundary. Here's your starters for the Golden Eagles. Again, all these rushing yards this season, the men up front have to do a lot of the blocking. But then again, it's some of the wide receivers who are involved in some key blocks.
Just on that last play, Zach Walker, great block on the perimeter, making it a first down.
The center, Man Ray St. Amour, a Remington Trophy watch list nominee. So a first down for the Golden Eagles. They'll move the sticks again. Ellison will just take and run into the line and pick up a couple of yards. Pretty good defense there by Texas State, including Aaron Shaw, the linebacker. Speaking of the defense for the Bobcats, they give up about 28 points a game. There's the men up front.
They're led by David Mayo, who leads the nation. That's Mayo with 15.3 tackles per game. That's number 3, David Mayo. Keep your eye on him.
Yeah, look for the long hair. Here's a guy at 22 tackles against ULM Monroe. Option play. Ellison, nifty feet, stays on his feet. What could have been a loss or no gain. He's able to spin forward, pick up a couple of yards, and able to jump past Jeff Banks.
Good job on the triple. They had a man assigned to the quarterback. He stuck with him. Had a man assigned to the pitch. They were in good pitch relationship. They were good on the quarterback. Once again, the quarterback makes a move and gains an extra couple yards.
3rd and 5 for the Eagles, trying to stay on the field in this, their opening drive of the Sun Belt Showdown here in San Marcos.
It's a big play early in this game. Getting a stop on Georgia Southern would be very big for the mindset of Texas State.
See if Ellison might put this ball up. He will keep it. He was unloaded upon by Michael Odiari, the talented senior who is second on this team in tackles. Got a clean shot at the sophomore quarterback.
That was a big-time hit by Michael Odiari. He put a hammer on Kevin Ellison. That one will be talked about on the sideline.
You don't always get those clean looks at a guy as shifty as Ellison. Odiari got one. Now Craig Mager back to return the kick from Ryan Nowicki. He averages more than 41 yards of boots.
Well, this is advantage Texas State here. Not real good in the punting game by Georgia Southern, but they win at their back, they get a big punt.
Boy, Mager just lucky to catch that one inside the 10, trying to find an open hole, and he's dropped shy of the 15-yard line. Good special teams tackle made by Patrick Flo. These teams trying to feel each other out. We'll step aside. No score in San Marcos. No score first quarter here in San Marcos, Texas.
A good start for the Texas State defense.
There's Dennis Franchione in his 4th season of his 2nd tenure here at Texas State. More than 200 career wins. Trying to get the ground game going. Terrence Franks, who's had a couple of huge games this season, able to pick up a couple of yards for Coach Fran, and there you see his record. And the Texas State trying to get win number 6 to become bowl eligible here this afternoon.
Outstanding football, Coach. I was very fortunate to be able to play against him one-on-one a few times. Always had a very well-coached football team.
Terrence Franks just has no place to go. Dropped by Deshante Gallen. They call him Ironhead because of the way he likes to make some physical plays, involved in a nice tackle of the speedy Franks.
Right now, the interior of the Georgia Southern Eagle line is a lot more physical than Texas State. If they're going to get this ground game going, they're going to have to get more physical and more push inside.
Third down 9, yes, 3rd and 9. Low snap for Tyler Jones. Going up top, and that pass sailed by his intended target. It was Bryce Gunter, I believe, the target. Antonio Glover there on defensive coverage.
Now, if I'm Georgia Southern, if I'm one of the Eagle coaches, I'm telling number 26, my punt return man, move up. The wind is blowing in the punter's face. Move up, get a run on the ball. The punting game for Texas State is facing the wind right now. Now you got to move your punt returner up to get yourself great field position, and they have done that this time.
Will Johnson averaging around 44 yards a kick, just lucky to get that one off. Forces Trey Butler to play the big bounce again. Butler going backwards. And a flag on top of things, so Georgia Southern will not have the field position maybe they expected with Will Johnson kicking into the breeze.
You got to do a better job of fielding the ball. Those are line drive kicks. Those are returnable footballs. Not much hang time. You have to get a jump on the ball. That's a returnable kick. That should not happen.
It's going to cost the Eagles several yards. Here's Jeff Hillier, our referee this afternoon.
What a change in field position there. What a change.
The Eagles will have the football when we come back. Still no score. First quarter here in San Marcos in this Sun Belt matchup. Kevin Ellison and the Eagles ready to take over the football. There's Willie Fritz, two-time national champion at Blinn Junior College in this state, formerly at Sam Houston State. His offense, though, nothing on first down. It was a tremendous open field tackle by Jermad Williams, the sophomore safety out of Conroe, to stick the QB.
Right now, Texas State is zeroed in to the formations and the structure of the Georgia Southern offense, and they are playing the option superbly.
See the numbers for Willie Fritz. He expects to have 50 to 100 people here from his days at Sam Houston State up the road in Huntsville in the Southland Conference. Second down and 10. Ellison with one of his rare throws here this afternoon. It's Derek Keaton, and Keaton will rumble up across the 29 to about the 30, gains 12, and picks up a first down for the Eagles.
Hand it to his teammates, those wide receivers on the perimeter making blocks, springing him for a first down. You know, there was a change in 66 yards last series in field position off that punt if you add in the penalty. That's a huge change in field position, especially when you're kicking into the wind.
Boy, no doubt, instead of great field position, now the Eagles pick up a first down. They're still probably not where they anticipated getting the football, up at the 30. Willie Fritz, he has this offense humming again, more than 400 yards rushing a game. They went to the air last time. Ellison wants to go up top again. Kentrella Showers was the target, and the marker comes flying in the area of pass interference.
Yeah, that one looks like it could be a mistake there by Texas State. The Eagles might get a break there on a pass interference call. They got the wind at their back right now. This is the time to take your shots downfield.
Coach, how concerned would you be as a defensive coordinator about their ability maybe to catch you by surprise with a pass because you're so concentrated on stopping that triple option and the run?
Once again, it's up to those safeties, the deep field players, keeping their eyes on the offensive lineman. If they see high hat, they cannot fill. If they see low hat, they got to get into their option responsibilities immediately. What I mean by that, low pad level run, high pad level pass.
After the penalty, Ellison at the last second pulled the ball out of the hands of Matt Breida, and he will go backwards. He lost a couple of yards on the play.
Boy, you don't see that very often. You don't see that very often, that he loses yards on the option. That was an outside zone read. Instead of giving the ball across the formation on the outside zone, he pulled it and took the ball. The outside player played not only the running back, but came back and closed in on the quarterback.
Wide receivers sprint into their formation. The linemen just turn around, and the Eagles ready to snap the football. There's Breida. Breida so dangerous in space. Williams able to ankle tackle him after a gain of 9, and that's right around the average on the season for this young sophomore, Matt Breida.
On that play right there, that was the inside zone play, not the option. Inside zone with the tight end or H-back cutting off the backside. That's a play that Coach Francione was talking about to me before the game today that they have to be aware of, because it's not an option play, and you need to stop the ball inside, and they didn't do a good job of that last time.
Georgia Southern so good on third downs. Third and short, 3rd and 3 here. Ellison running the option. Ellison will keep. Ellison dangerous. He gets a block. He might get to the corner, being chased from behind by Craig Mager. Steps out of the Mager tackle. Mayo, the linebacker, all the way downfield to make the tackle at the 7 after a pickup of 40 yards by the QB. Another gain in excess of 10 yards, one of the big hitters this offense specializes in.
Well, that was the field safety, Jamon Williams, number 12. He got shook by the quarterback there. He's got quarterback responsibility on that speed option, and the quarterback shook him, and that's why the big play occurred. A missed tackle in the open field, a missed assignment by number 12, Jamon Williams.
Mayo able to hustle all the way down the field to save a touchdown for now, but 1st and goal for Georgia Southern, trying to strike first. And there's Breida. Breida still on his feet. He will drop around the 2.5-yard line. The bottom of the pile again is Jeff Banks, a gain of 5 of the play.
You know, it all starts with the dive and the triple option. You've got to stop the dive. You can't be giving up 5 yards on the dive play. That's about 3 dives now that I've seen off the first phase of the triple option that have gained 5 yards. And if you don't stop the dive, you can run that all day. You've got to set the tone by stopping the dive.
This Georgia Southern offense has run for 46 touchdowns this season. Just 7 through the air. Ellison tries for another, but he will be denied. A little bit shy of that goal line.
The Eagles love quarterback power inside the 10, and that was quarterback power right there. It's a down blocking scheme on the right. They pull the left side guard in this situation, and they lead with the H-back. Quarterback, when he's back there with no backs in the backfield, look for quarterback power.
Breida has checked back in. Ellison this season, he's run for 11 of those touchdowns. A defensive-minded first quarter. We'll see if Georgia Southern can change that. Breida the carry with a head of steam. He should be in. Touchdown. Georgia Southern.
Same exact play. Instead of the quarterback running the power, Breida runs the power. Power football team inside the 10. Got to stop power inside the 10.
13th rushing touchdown this season for Matt Breida, a player who wasn't even available in the spring practice. He had labrum surgery. I don't think this Eagles coaching staff really had any idea what he was capable of doing, but he has to have exceeded the expectations with a big year.
Great blocking by the right tackle and the right guard, pulled by Darian Foreman, and right into the end zone goes Breida.
Younghoe Koo on to add the extra point. He will knock one off the building, and it's good. 4 minutes and change to play here in our first quarter. The Eagles on the scoreboard first. They lead the Bobcats 7-0. Coach, you talk about assignment football. Here was the big play on that 83-yard drive.
Well, watch the deep safety coming down right now. He's got the quarterback in the speed option right here. Quarterback puts a little shake on him. That's his man. He's got to make that tackle in the open field. That's the breakdown. You have one breakdown against an option football team. That was a 2-man option, quarterback and pitch. The man that had the quarterback cannot get beat.
83-yard scoring drive. Georgia Southern on the scoreboard first. It's Terrence Franks. Terrence Franks with some moves up across the 20. And the Bobcats will have the football, now trailing 7-0.
Got a flag down. That might be on the Texas State Bobcats.
So Jeff Hillier will inform us of the penalty here in a moment. Well, that will not help the field position for Texas State.
Yeah, well, with 3:57 left in the second quarter, you're going to have one more punt into the wind. And I'd imagine after 2 straight punts, the Eagles have this thing figured out. I'm expecting a big return coming up if they field this thing properly, if they get him into a punting situation. So far, it's been, pretty stout defense by the Eagles. And right now, if they can put up another big defensive stop, they're going to have great field position.
With penalties, though, just throw this offense out of whack.
Well, that's something that Dennis said before the game. Bobcats can't beat Bobcats. Penalties, stupid penalties.
Jones. Little screen pass. It's something that Texas State has employed on a few times here this afternoon. Darius Jones wraps up and makes the stop after a gain of 2.
Great play also by Lenny Richardson, their big defensive end on the defensive left side, turning and running and making that play on the perimeter. That's speed by defensive linemen.
22 on the play clock when Texas State will snap. And nothing available for Robert Lowe, a man who averages about 85 yards a carry. A little push after the whistle. And the officials doing a pretty good job getting everybody to the respective corner after that gain of 1.
Outside zone read completely shut down by the Georgia Southern defense. The Eagles are playing very, very solid defense.
And Pat, 3 and out's another thing that Texas State wants to stay away from. So into this win, now facing a 3rd and 8, down 7-0, in danger of having to punt again.
Well, your goal is you got to do better on first down, and so far first down production has not been good. 3rd and long is not to their advantage. So far we've seen 8-man drops in this situation.
Tyler Jones saw something he did not like, and he will spend the first time out for Texas State here in the first half.
I think what he saw is the last 2 third and long situations, he saw that odd front put up by the Eagles. This time they came out in an even front, probably saw a blitz situation, had a play called probably for an 8-man drop, didn't like what he saw, called the timeout.
This was a Georgia Southern defense that last week against Troy gave up just 154 yards. And it really wasn't even their best effort, Coach, because there were some things in that game that Coach Fritz felt like they could clean up, do a little bit better. But when you do not play a great game and you give up 150 yards total offense, you got some playmakers up front.
Yeah, Coach Fritz is a very demanding person, and when you have a good football team, you can be demanding. Be demanding of the best players you have, too. That makes them strive for perfection. He's got a good football team. Tell them exactly what you think. If you don't like the way they're performing, even though they're winning, don't cover it up. Let them know exactly how you feel.
Coach Fritz really feels like his seniors have embraced change, buying into this new coaching staff and their philosophies early to allow them to be 7-2 and leading here today in this conference game.
Here's the odd look. It's the turn draw.
Robert Lowe able to run over and pick up the first down on 3rd and 8. He will gain 12, kind of picking his holes and being dropped by Matt Dobson, but not before he moves the sticks.
That play right there has been a staple of Dennis Francione for years, the turn draw. I can remember playing against that. You see all the linemen turning, giving it on the draw. I remember LaDainian Tomlinson going for 86 yards to beat us at Fresno State on that same exact play.
Well, you close your eyes, you can still see that one, can't you, Coach?
Oh, absolutely. It was a blur.
Terrence Franks trying the right side of the line and nothing there. And Terrence Franks still able to fight and try and get back towards the line of scrimmage, but he saw a lot of white shirts coming after him, including Chris De La Rosa, a freshman linebacker out of Florida.
The Eagle defense is swarming. They got beat on the turn draw, and, you know, they had the 3-man rush on. That was a good call.
So it's 2nd and a long 10. C.J. Best, the man in motion. Boy, Tyler Jones able to play the carom. And then it was Jay Ellison, one of the two, flying in after him after he lost a yard on that play, but maybe just happy to get that football back.
3rd and long again. 3rd and long again. They're going to their 3-man package. So far, every 3rd and long, it's been 3-man rush, 8-man drop. Let's see if they have a change.
3 receivers to the bottom of your screen for Texas State.
4-man rush, a little bit different this time.
Jones a little bit behind. C.J. Best still had a chance to make the play. Would have been a yard beyond the marker. Incomplete. And now Texas State will have to punt.
However, that's a play you got to make. You got to make that play as a receiver. That's too big a play, especially with the situation being we're punting into the wind. Field position is huge. We're down by 1 score. We cannot give them field position. Let's see if they do something with their punt return team. Be ready for a line drive kick.
And Trey Butler twice has had to play the care. Maybe he'll creep up a couple of yards.
He's still back.
There's Will Johnson, nearly had his last one blocked, gets this one off. It is a mile-high kick, but short. Butler on to make the fair catch, had to navigate through some Bobcats, but he will make the grab at the 44, in fact, the 45-yard line. So Butler had to go around a few of the boys in those maroon jerseys in order to make that catch, but he leaves the Eagles with tremendous field position here with 1:07 to go in our first quarter.
Yeah, and he got it a little bit high that time. That's why you don't want to get the ball too high, because it just hung up in the air. And now your starting position is the 45-yard line. Big series here now. You got to be assignment perfect. They gave up 1 big play last series.
Fabian Upshaw is in at quarterback, replacing Ellison. Also, L.A. Ramsby. He will spell Matt Breida and carries on the first play from scrimmage for a gain of 3. Ramsby, a former quarterback in spring football. They changed him to running back. And Upshaw, he's a guy, Coach, when he comes in, sometimes you don't even know Ellison's not in the game. He doesn't miss a lot of beats.
He's an awful good quarterback also. And I'll tell you, L.A. Ramsby, I love that guy. He is a power back. He can jump cut. He can accelerate. He runs with power, gets his pads down. His best play that I've seen on film is when he runs the power. He can get it north and south.
2nd and 7 for Georgia Southern. The play blown dead before Breida could take another carry.
Procedure on the Eagles. You don't see that very often. Matt Breida is number 1 in the Sun Belt League in rushing. L.A. Ramsby is 10th in the Sun Belt in rushing. He's averaging, he's had 566 yards, 9 TDs for the big man.
Well, just staggering numbers, however you want to slice it offensively. They're running the football. Now they're backed up with a 2nd and 12. Upshaw remains in. He's going to run the option with Breida. Upshaw with a little cutback. And he's finally dropped by a couple of the Bobcats right at the midfield marker, a pickup of 5 on the play.
That was the speed option again that they had the big gainer on in the last series, leading to the touchdown. That time the Bobcats had to chase it down from behind. The play side was blocked. It was the pursuit from the backside that shut it down.
1 quarter complete. 7-0 Georgia Southern. Just the 2nd ever meeting between these two programs. The last was 2005. That was an FCS playoff game. Now in the FBS level, 2 good teams in the Sun Belt Conference. Eagles leading 7-0. They will start the 2nd quarter with a football. Fabian Upshaw still in the game. He will get into Bobcat territory but pay a price as Trey McGowan, the middle linebacker, hit him after a pickup of 3 yards.
Well, you can see that the Texas State defense is checking to the side of the setback, and there again, they're in position to stop the option. They must have some key there that they're making a check to the field, to the side of the back. Very good job of option responsibilities. Now, Georgia Southern, the Eagles have to punt into this stiff wind. We'll see what happens now.
So Nowicki will punt. Rolls out and kicks a 2-iron down the right sideline. That ball bouncing to the end zone, and the Bobcats will start from their own 1.
That 2-iron we call a rugby punt. What he's trying to do is get it low, like playing on the, probably playing in the British Open. Get it low, under the wind, let it roll. Great job by the coverage team of Georgia Southern.
And Miles Campbell played that one perfectly to secure it before it got to the goal line. We'll see it again. Looked like though maybe it hit him at the 11, so they are going to give the football to the Bobcats at the 11. A little better field position, Pat, because they have not been able to execute on first down, something you've been tracking today.
Well, here's their numbers. -3, +2, +1, +2, and 0. You've got to make yards on first down so you don't put yourself in tough 2nd and long and 3rd and long situations, and that's what they've done this entire game. First down is critical, and Coach Francione talked about it. They have got to find some answers here on first down. And obviously right here, formational changes right now. They're going with big people. They're going with 22 personnel. That means 2 tight ends, 2 backs. They're going to try a little different approach, it looks like. They've been in 3 wideouts, 1 back, 1 tight end. Now they're in 2 tight ends, 2 backs. A completely different approach.
I believe our official is going to call upstairs and review that play where the punt hit one of the Eagles at about the 11-yard line. Hopefully he can get his microphone fixed sometime. We'll take another look, though, to see this ball, see if it got Campbell on the back of the leg. And if it did, that was closer to the 15 than it was the 11.
The rugby-style kick came in about 5, 6, 7 years ago. I know Boise ran it very, very effectively. And what it does for you, it gives you an opportunity. If you don't have a great punter, which Georgia Southern doesn't have a great punter, but he has an adequate punter. But when you add this to his repertoire, makes him very dangerous in any kind of weather condition.
From a lip reader, I think he said the ball will be at the 14-yard line, so a little better for Texas State. Just a moment ago, Willie Fritz thought he had the Bobcats backed up to the 1. Boy, Coach Fritz, there's a high-energy guy, excited on what his team has done in the first year. And now Tyler Jones comes back on the field, and he's been forced to throw a little more than maybe he would like, Coach. So again, we'll see if they will try and just grind out a few yards here to start this drive.
Yeah, and they've changed their personnel once again. Now they're in what I call 10 personnel, no tight end, 4 wideouts, 1 back.
That back is Terrence Franks.
+2.
Not enough.
No. When you're spreading them out as much as Texas State is, it just proves what the Eagle front is doing against them right now. They are dominating the middle of the line of scrimmage on the dive.
So a 2nd and 8. facing the Bobcats. You see that stark sunshine shadows contrast here in the middle of the afternoon in San Marcos. Jones trying to set up the throw again. Checking down for his tight end Bradley Miller. That's his 29th catch of the season. He will take it up to the 25 and pick up a first down. You talk about differences, though, in this team. I think Georgia Southern this year has completed one pass to a tight end all year. For Texas State, that is 43 passes they've completed to their tight ends. It's really a part of what they do in their passing game.
Big part of their offense.
So a fresh set of downs for the Bobcats. They could use some points on this drive. There's Terrence Franks trying to spin out of the first wave of tacklers, but not the second and third. Nothing doing.
Well, when you're watching it from up here, and for all our people watching this game on TV, the line of scrimmage is completely flat. The inside gaps are shut off, and there's nothing moving to the outside. Very good job by the Eagles of what I call gap cancellation. They're canceling out the gaps against the Bobcat offensive line.
Good look at Deshante Gallen. There's a head of steam. Terrence Franks, one of the home run hitters, into Georgia Southern territory and chopped down at the 48. Gallen and Dobson combined on the stop after a pickup of 26.
As soon as I say what a great job the Eagles are doing, the Bobcats must have heard me, because I'll tell you what, they popped one off the left side of the line. Now what they're doing right here is they're flipping their tackle to the left. They're doing a little bit of unbalanced work and moving their tackle from side to side, changing personnel in the offensive line.
Franks will carry again. This time he is met by Edwin Jackson, leading tackler on this team, with an excess of 70 this year. No gain on the play. Big number 40 around that football again.
That's Edwin Jackson, 6 foot, 230 pounds, leads the team. 71 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, and 1 interception this year.
One of 10 children at home. You have to learn to fight for your own everything when you're one of 10. Little trickeration. C.J. Best, he has the blocking set up on the boundary.
Big time room there.
C.J. Best needs one more block, and there is Jackson again with the tackle shy of the 25-yard line. But boy, you saw a lot of maroon jerseys trying to seal that left side of the football field for Best.
Well, they did a very good job. You know, Georgia Southern got sucked out of the play. The double reverse was a heck of a call, and it was chased down from the backside because they did have a wall of blockers in front of them, but the pressure came from the backside to make the tackle.
Play went for a gain of 25, so now the Bobcats knocking on the door of the red zone. Back to throw is Jones. Jones over the middle. That ball was in and out of the hands of Mercer. A little bit high, but that's the second one today. Wall not perfect. Could have been caught by a Bobcat wide receiver.
Sprint right, throw back, man wide open, just a little bit high. Good call. Now we're sitting in 2nd and 10.
Again, keep in mind the Bobcats without Japhus Skeens, one of their big play wide receivers. So Damon Mercer tried to make a play, could not. 2nd and 10 for Texas State. There is Terrence Franks again. He had a 95-yard touchdown run earlier this year against Idaho. Nearly 300 yards rushing in that game, but Jay Ellison wrapped him up. That's a big man, 6'1", 305 pounds.
Well, that time they tried the turn draw again, and the Eagles were having nothing to do with it. It's 3rd and long. Looks like 4-man pressure. I don't see them blitzing here. I see them playing cover. They've had success with cover. They got to have some defensive linemen hold it for any quarterback scramble. This is an important time right now that everybody stays in the rush lanes. Make sure that quarterback doesn't beat him with his legs.
Tyler Jones running off a lot of seconds on that play clock. We're inside 4. He has to snap the football. Just does get it off. He will throw out of what looked to be an option formation through the hands of C.J. Best. That pass came out hot. That'll bring up 4th down. And boy, the drive stalled after that double reverse by C.J. Best.
Well, the first play on 1st down, they had the sprint to the right with the throwback coming across the field, just overthrew it. The next down they ran their turn draw that they got 11 yards on the first time they ran it. The Eagles stuffed it. Then on 3rd down, 3rd and long, played right into the Eagles' hands, and they make the stop. Field goal now from 29, 39 yards.
Will Johnson has taken over place-kicking responsibilities here in recent weeks. 3 of 5 on field goals this year. Plenty of leg. Is it true? Yes, it is. And the Bobcats are on the board. A booming field goal, and Johnson provides Texas State with 3. But Georgia Southern remains in front, 7-3 Eagles. Fans here at San Marcos having a good time. They wanted to see their Bobcats score 7, end up with a long field goal after a 10-play, 64-yard drive to get on the board. And now Will Johnson, who kicked that field goal through, will boot the ball back in the direction of Georgia Southern.
Let's give credit to the Texas State coaches. You know, they got on the sideline, they put in the reverse, got a big gain on the reverse. They ran the outside zone read, popped it on the left side. You know, they made some things happen. They had the wide receiver coming across the middle on the sprint right, just overthrew it by a little. So they had some good movement this last series, really for the first time in the game.
We expected a lot of points here today. So far, the defenses have had a say in that with a 7-3 game. Georgia Southern to get the ball back. This one kicked in the direction of Derek Keaton. In fact, it'll go out of the end zone, so the wind blowing from left to right here this afternoon will aid that one. And the Eagles will have it. 1st and 10.
Well, Georgia Southern deferred in the first half, so it'll be interesting to see what goal line Texas State wants to defend in the second half. It's going to depend a lot on the score, because in games like this, if it was close, I wanted the win at my back in the fourth quarter.
Well, I was thinking the same thing, Coach. In this offense that averages in excess of 400 yards rushing a game. Comes back out 1st and 10 from the 25. Empty backfield. Kevin Ellison back in. He will try and pick a hole off the right side of the line. And not a lot available. Maybe a couple of yards on that play.
You can call some of the plays from the box when that wing back is set and there's no back in the backfield. It's a good chance of quarterback power, because there's no option threat. There's nobody in motion, and he's not a big thrower. And I think that the Bobcats have done a very good job of scouting this offense. It still comes down to beating the blocks and making tackles, obviously.
Well, Trey McGowan, you saw him in that previous shot, at 17 tackles last week at New Mexico State. He's been busy today.
Look at option this way.
2nd and 8. Ellison to throw into the hands of Contrelius Showers. And he's up near the marker, maybe a couple of yards shy of a first down.
He took the sure pass. He had the corner up on top with Zach Walker wide open also. Third down here. It'll be interesting to see what formation the Eagles are in.
It'll be a 3rd and 3 for number 4, Kevin Ellison. Boys, linemen just turn and sprint to the line of scrimmage, and they're available to snap. Ramsby the carry. Ramsby, it looked like he was stopped. Another gain of double digits, and finally shoved down hard by Damani Alexi.
It's the same thing I said about L.A. Ramsby 2 weeks ago. This guy has a very strong lower body. Watch him power through the tackles right there. That is a strong young man. From the hips down, great leg strength, and that's what got him through right there. Breaks a tackle. Instead of being a 4th down situation, it's 1st and 10 past midfield.
20-yard pickup for Ramsby.
This formation here is I haven't seen this very much on film. It's a little tougher on the Texas State defense, because they don't know which way the option can go with two backs in the backfield.
Different look here on 1st down from Bobcat territory. It's Breida. Breida trying to bounce outside. He's had some huge gains this year. Needs a block on the corner. Races by Craig Mager, and he's inside the 15. He'll be marked out at the 13-yard line. Williams finally got him. Breida loves those yards. He's had 7 carries this year in excess of 50 yards. He was hoping to take that one to the house. Instead, had to settle for a gain of 33.
It's just dive. It's just a straight dive. The right side of the line behind Raymond Kluge and Logan Davis do a great job of blocking down and sealing the backside. He just hits it to the backside. There's nothing but green grass. Option this way.
Ramsby back in the game. He's inside the 5. He'll be dropped at about the 3-yard line by Alexi again. He picked up 8.
Yeah, they ran the option to the wide side of the field, to the side of the setback, and Ramsby once again showing leg strength inside. Big push by the offensive line.
Well, he would be so tough to try and bring down if you allow him to get any head of steam whatsoever.
Well, in the old days when I was coaching the I formation, I would have run him till his legs were nubs. Option this way.
On second down, it's Ramsby again. Ramsby will go into the end zone for another rushing touchdown for Georgia Southern. Their 48th on the season.
Ran the zone read, to the side of the setback. Gave it the give call. Nobody closed on the back. He breaks a tackle, takes it into the end zone. Watch right here. Power. When you see the down block and the offside guard pull, H-back leads up in the hole.
Alex Hanks on to add the extra point. Right into the student section. It is good. So Texas State got on the board with 3. Georgia Southern answers with a touchdown from Ramsby. 14-3. The visitors from Georgia Southern with the lead. Georgia Southern coach with a 14-3 lead. Let's look at that scoring play one more time.
Well, this is what we used to call 37 power O. Okay, it's the 3 back going through the 7 hole to the left. Down blocks by the left side of the line, lead through by the tight end, backside guard pulling, hence the word power O. Offside guard, and L.A. Ramsby does the rest. Same play they scored on earlier, but they ran it to the right, 36 power O.
Terrence Franks with a hit of steam. Well, he's dropped shy of the 25-yard line, flying in to make that special teams tackle, Chris De La Rosa.
Backup linebacker, just a freshman boy. Those special teams guys, I love them, man. They are the spear. They're coming downfield full speed looking for a collision. Big series now for Texas State and the Bobcats.
You're getting that feeling that the Eagles are starting to pick up the pace offensively. They found the end zone for the second time. The Bobcats still trying to get their first touchdown. Their last drive resulted in 3. Let's see what Tyler Jones, the sophomore quarterback and engineer. Not great field position coach, but this is about as good as it's been for them starting from their own 25.
Yeah, they empty it out. See what they got.
Lowe will sweep and take that football running left, but he tried to cut it back up, and that did not work. He was dropped by Edwin Jackson, a gain of 4. And there's Jackson, the man that probably after today will be in excess of 80 tackles on the season.
That's a middle linebacker playing in the perimeter making those kind of tackles. They have very good athletes. The Eagles can run and tackle in the open field. Very athletic defense.
Lowe will flex out in motion, line up as a receiver to the left. 2nd and 6. Jones going up top, completing his pass and locating Lawrence White. That is a 6'7" tight end, gaining 11 after that reception.
He's leading the team in average per catch, 18 yards per catch, 1 TD. But when you talk about a target, that's a big target.
Boy, big man.
He won't get lost out there.
He caught 3 balls, had a touchdown last week at New Mexico State. He'll move the sticks for Texas State. And back into the game is Robert Lowe. Nothing fancy. He's dropped at about the 44.
They're starting to get a little traction with that outside zone read. Inside zone reads off the dive. Outside is off the sweep action.
Lowe with a gain of 4 for Coach Fran on first down. Still shy of midfield. And it's Randy Price. Price will carry the football every once in a while. Jackson yet another tackle on this drive. He's been everywhere, slowing down that play after only a gain of 2.
He's busy. He is busy. They're in a manageable down, though. They're 3rd and 4. 3rd and 4. Very manageable down for Texas State.
Have to pretty much reach midfield to get a first down. Terrence Franks shifts out to the right. He's the intended target. Did he make the diving catch? No. Into the sideline, incomplete. And now the Bobcats may have to kick one more time.
Even if he would have caught it, I don't know if it's far enough to make the first down. When you're throwing 3rd and 4, you got to make sure you get past the sticks. Got the wind at their back. Now is when you sail the ball. Let it get high. Let it get high. Get great coverage. If you see a fair catch signal, run past the returner. Look for the returner and a fair catch signal and see if they run behind him to down that ball.
Well, soaring
fair catch. Get behind him.
Trey Butler will call the fair catch. How about that bounce? Benefiting Texas State. And they'll keep it out of the end zone.
Exactly what we talked about right there. As soon as you see the fair catch signal, get behind the returner. He can't return the ball. Get behind him.
Ben Ija down to drop that football at the 2-yard line. 5:17 to play before the half. Will step aside in the Sun Belt matchup here in San Marcos, Texas. Beautiful Bobcat Stadium here in San Marcos. Georgia Southern leading 14-3, but really a great opportunity for this Bobcat defense coach to get off the field, considering the field position for the Eagles.
Look for play action pass here. Now they keep it on the ground, get a good chunk of yards on first down. But this is a place on the field with single coverage at the top where you let her go.
Ramsby the carry out of the hands of Kevin Ellison, the quarterback. David Mayo was there defensively. A little breathing room, though, for Georgia Southern out to the 5, but now facing a 2nd and 7.
These guys are number 1 in the country in third down conversion. They don't get stopped too often.
Ellison from his goal line puts it in the arms of Ramsby again. He was chopped down hard. Pretty good pursuit that time by the Bobcats, including Jeff Banks. He got up off the bottom of the pile. So did Mershad Dillon. Coach, that's a kid you're familiar with.
Yeah, Mershad. I recruited him to Fresno State my last year there out of the Santa Maria area on the coastline of California. He was on the 400-meter relay team.
Big play. Now it's a big down, 3rd and 6 for Georgia Southern. Remember, if they're forced to punt, they'll have to kick into a pretty stiff breeze and give Texas State a chance for a good field position.
They're going to run option to the right, it looks like.
Breida is the ball carrier. No, Ellison will pull it back.
There it is.
Ellison trying to get outside of the boundary, and he was hit hard and shot down. Michael Odiari was one of those pursuing along with Williams and David Mayo. It's a gain of 4, but not good enough, and the Texas State defense will get off the field.
And it was a 2-man option to the right. And Texas State did a very good job of defending it. They're getting a good feel for what the Eagles are running. It's still a matter of being able to stop it. But this is the 2nd punt of the day for the Eagles. Now, last time, if you remember, they had a rugby punt. Now you got 2 returners back for Texas State, which is a smart move. So if the ball goes outside the hash on the right, they've got a returner. If it goes middle, they got a returner. Look for a return here by the Bobcats of Texas State.
McDowell and Mager hoping to return the kick from Ryan Nowicki. Fair catch called for and made by Mager at their own 48, so great field position for Texas State. Still plenty of time, 3 minutes and change to go before the break.
Well, that time the punter saw 2 returners, didn't go with the rugby-style kick because there's no advantage to it. Could have gotten a return ball. He just kicked a line drive, and give credit to the Eagles for coverage, because on a line drive punt like that, you have got to get off your blockers and get downfield. And the Eagles did a great job of covering that punt into the wind on that line drive.
Well, there's Tyler Jones. His numbers through the air, 6 of 12, just 31 yards. A very accurate quarterback, completes 66% of his passes. Not today. He's had a couple just behind some receivers. See what the Bobcats want to do here on first down. And Jones will look to throw again. He's going to go up top, well over his intended target, the tight end Bradley Miller, and it's incomplete.
Well, Bradley Miller was double covered running up the seam, so he had to overthrow it, just give his receiver a chance to get it, but he overthrew it by too much. If he would have underthrown that ball, it would have been picked off.
So just 3 points for Texas State. Remember, they average almost 33 a game. Hoping to get something out of this drive. Jones with a little spin. His pass was behind his receiver, Brandon Smith, but a nice catch. He'll gain the first down. Be dropped to the 38 by Dobson. 13 yards.
Those are the kind of catches you got to make. It's behind his body. Heck of a catch and great concentration by Brandon Smith.
16th catch of the season for the junior. Big play.
Strong hands. You got to have strong hands to catch that behind your body, hands only. That wasn't a body catch at all.
Gives Texas State a boost. See what they can do with a fresh set of downs, an empty backfield for the time being. Jones with a quick pass right into the arms of Miller, but he was wrapped up by Dobson again. And Dobson will push him backwards. Football, did it pop out? Gallen says he has it. The officials say it still belongs to Texas State. So a gain of 3 on the play. Let's take another look at this one at the end. That football pop loose. You see it end up in the hands of Gallen, but that knee may have been down.
Too late now. Plays on.
Jones will roll and throw, and boy, that's maybe the play, coach, he's not been entirely accurate on. He outshoots his target.
He looks like he's rushing it a little bit. You know, he's not getting his shoulders turned. He's moving to his right, which is good, but that ball's just flying out of his hand. And his balls have been a little high today. All his throws have been a little high, so he's not really getting a chance to set his feet and rotate the throw.
Ryan Gary was the man targeted, but incomplete, so now it's 3rd down and 7. This pass doesn't have a shot. See if we might get a marker. Bryce Gunter was impeded a bit, but that ball was well beyond him, out of bounds. And boy, after that first down, the Bobcats just pick up a couple of yards, and now it's 4th and 7, really probably 4-down territory.
I'd imagine so. You know, when you're playing against a team like the Eagles that can control the clock and move the ball, you got to make something happen here. Dennis is making, Coach Francioni's calling a timeout here to talk this one over. Is this a critical play? You give it up here, though. You're not giving up that much field position. A starting point of the 35-yard line. It seems like the Eagles have been there all day.
Coach, are you surprised they haven't run the football a little more? It feels like they've been looking pass much more often than not.
Well, they tried to establish. Well, they tried to establish early in the game, if you remember, and I went through those stats. It was on first down, it was -3, +2, +1, +0, and 0. So they haven't had success. Up front, the Eagle defensive front is handling the Texas State Bobcats. The only plays that they've had a little bit of success on, they had the reverse, they had the one-turn draw, and the one outside zone read. Other than that, the in-turn draw and the one outside zone read. Other than that, the inside down. Now, I haven't seen the quarterback pull the ball yet. I haven't seen any double option with the quarterback keeping the ball yet, and I haven't seen any motions with the wide receivers coming into the backfield with the triple. That's something they might still go to.
Offense staying on the field, 4th and 7.
I like the call. They've had guys open here. I like the call. They've had guys open here. It's going to be a 3-man or 4-man rush. In this case, it's going to be a 3-man rush with 8 underneath.
Sophomore quarterback Tyler Jones from the shadows to the sunshine, completing his pass to Bradley Miller, but he's chopped down well short of the intended target. No chance on that one. Dion Stanley with the tackle, and there's a corner that we have to offer some congratulations to, Coach.
Yeah, he missed his first game in his career last week because he was home with the birth of his first child. And that's very exciting. I want to send out our congratulations to Dion and his little girl, Brooke. She's not watching the game today, but she might be listening to all the action in the living room after that play.
Dion came up with a big 4th down play to put this Eagles offense back on the field. Still plenty of time with $1:40 to go. They have 3 timeouts remaining. There's Matt Breida lining up now to the right of Ellison. Ellison will keep. Ellison well defended on that play.
Very good job by Trey McGowan. He had the quarterback all the way. What he did there, though, that was so important, he stayed inside out on the quarterback. The quarterback tried to give a little juke. Trey was right there on his inside shoulder. That's how you play the option. If you got quarterback responsibility, play inside out. Use the sideline as your friend. Don't ever let them cut back on you.
And a loss of 3 on first down. Now these seconds ticking away. A big play. Maybe Georgia Southern would have thought about calling timeout. Play clock down near 10 seconds with game clock ticking away. Ellison, though, looking for the big ball up top. Boy, had Breida with a step. And the past 4 or 5 yards out of his reach.
Seems like both quarterbacks were drinking their protein this morning. They're very strong with the throws. Passing efficiency, that thing's wide open for a touchdown. That's what makes them so dangerous throwing the ball. And I just want to say another thing about these wide receivers. Showers, Crockett, Walker, Johnson, not known for their pass receiving skills. What these guys do is very unselfish. They are big-time blockers in this Georgia Southern offense.
But another incomplete pass here, and Texas State would get the football back with some time on the clock.
3rd and long's not their friend. Swing it out. This is what they like to do. Now make a guy miss.
Devin Scott. Devin Scott will be thrown out of bounds at around the 40, well shy of the marker, Craig Mager. NFL scouts really love Mager. He made a play at a gain of 6, but 4th down.
This is the 3rd punt for the Eagles today. 3rd punt. Ryan Nowicki coming into this game had only punted 21 times all season. In 9 games, he's punted. This is his 3rd time today. You got to give credit to the Bobcat defense.
Ellison walks off to the sideline. His team leading 14-3, but still a few seconds on the clock for Texas State, especially if they can get a good return out of Craig Mager. Low kick. Mager won't take it, and the football will be touched shy of the 30. And there still will be in excess of 40 seconds to play here in our first half. A few more seconds ticked off after that ball was touched. Now, how daring will you be if you're Coach Fran and the Bobcats? You take one shot trying to get the ball downfield?
No, I think you get into your 2-minute offense and let it roll. You got to get Tyler Jones into a rhythm before the half. I mean, this guy, he's a good throwing quarterback. You know, he's thrown for 1,600 yards this year. He's got to get into a rhythm, though. Right now, he's not in a rhythm. I'd go 2-minute offense and let her fly. 10 personnel, 4 wideouts, 1 running back. I don't think they're running it here.
Jones tries to get rid of that football quickly and does, into the hands of Robert Lowe, but this play goes absolutely nowhere. Nothing available on first down. Bernard Dawson, the sophomore, made that stop, and now the seconds continue to tick away.
Well, you have a linebacker running through there free. He had to throw it hot, but he shouldn't be running free. He only had 4 rushers.
Jones throwing on the run. Pass into the hands of Brandon Smith. Tries to get out of bounds and does. He'll be in Georgia Southern territory at the 49. Nick Wright the stop. Clock stop. 13 seconds here in the half. Gain of 17 on that pass play. Gives him a shot, maybe 2 shots at the end zone.
Well, you still have a timeout. What you need to do is you got to get the ball on the sideline. If you're going to throw it down the seam, you got to be ready to call a timeout. Kick the field goal with the wind at your back.
Jones with those arms extended. Did the Eagles jump? Quick pass here to the boundary again. Brandon Smith will make the catch, step out, gain a couple of yards, but now the clock down to 9 seconds. Number 5, gain 5.
You got one more sideline shot or a seam shot, and Coach Francione's got to be right there on the heads lineman. I see him talking to him right now. He says, be ready for me to call a timeout if that ball goes inbounds down the middle.
Jones just ran himself into a sack.
Timeout.
Thrown down with nowhere to go. It was Deshante Gallen who got him. Ironhead with the sack. Timeout. 3 seconds to play in the half.
Deshante Gallen's a backup. On most teams, he'd be a starter. He's 5th on the team in tackles as a backup. Outstanding football player and a big-time special teams player for the Eagle. Now, you got one play left here. It's got to be a shot for the end zone, the old Hail Mary where you throw it and they try to bounce it up in the air and somebody tries to catch it, or some type of lateral type play. Now, I'll guarantee you, Coach Francione, as many years as he's been coaching, has a couple plays for this down and distance situation. He goes into games with 5 2-point plays every week. So when you got 5 2-point plays, you definitely got some plays for the end of the half and end of game. It'll be interesting to see what he pulls out of his hat here.
So far, just 3 points in this first half. The Georgia Southern defense has stolen the show. All this talk about the offenses and all the points. Well, Texas State hoping to make one more play before the break.
Well, you can see a lot of people downfield. You could probably run a draw here pretty successfully, but that's not going to get you down there. The way they've got them lined up with 3 to the top of the field is usually a Hail Mary formation or a pass with a lateral. A pass with a lateral.
I think Georgia Southern didn't have the right number of people on the field, and they will spend a timeout. Rashad Williams puts his helmet on and comes back in.
You're right. They only had 10 out there. It's hard enough with 11. I coach in Canada. You had 12. It's hard enough with 12. That's a league where you have 2 corners, 2 safeties, and a middle safety.
Coach Fritz comes on the field here for a final.
Now, Coach Fritz is a defensive coach. I'll guarantee you he'll have them ready for this. But there's 2 things that can happen here with this formation. There's a Hail Mary where all 3 go deep and they try to catch it in the end zone, or you can go deep and lateral it to a trailer player.
Keep an eye on number 1, Ben Aisha. He's on the outside to the left. He might be the intended target. Jones is trying to run himself out of trouble. Jones almost crossed that line of scrimmage. The ball is up for grabs. It's going to be caught, but shy the marker. There's a lateral intended for Big Lawrence White. Now the flag is down. Finally the flag was thrown by the referee because Tyler Jones crossed the line of scrimmage. Even in that 2-3 man rush, just couldn't buy enough time to get loose for a throw towards the end zone.
When you're an offensive lineman and you cannot keep out a 3-man rush with, in that case, 6 blockers, that's tough. 3 or 4 men against 6, you should win that on offense.
Now Jones is trying to make his case. Of course, if any part of his body is behind the line of scrimmage, he's considered behind, even if it's 1 foot. But I don't think he's going to win this argument, and the half is over.
Well, he stepped over and then tried to come back. Once you step over, you're over.
We'll head to half. Coach Fran and the Bobcats will dial up some adjustments. The band ready to take center stage. Georgia Southern with a strong first half defensively. The Eagles leading 14-3.
We're ready to go here in this second half. And here's an interesting stat for you, Brett. You know, Georgia Southern's a great running football team. Lead the nation in rushing. They've got 156 yards at the half. Here's the key. 3 of those plays have counted for 97 yards. That means 21 of their running plays have only accounted for 69 yards, way below their average. So that's an interesting stat. That's 3.2 a carry, except for those 3 plays. You got to give credit to Texas State. They have done a very good job against the run here today.
Good point, but a couple of big plays that have hurt them. The Eagles will get the football first. They will begin from their 25 to start the third quarter. They will work into the wind here in the third. They will have that in the fourth for this Georgia Southern squad that is trying to improve to 7-0 in Sun Belt Conference action.
Well, I think that's a smart decision. I think that's a smart decision by Coach Francione. This team's not going to beat him throwing. So if he's going to make his move, it's going to be in the third quarter with the wind at his back. And it starts right here. They've got to make a stop in this opening series.
Coach Fran, he's made his adjustments at the half. The Eagles will get the football first. Kevin Ellison, their sophomore quarterback, with the exception of a couple of series, has been running the show, and he'll give to Matt Breida. Breida, boy, just trying to keep that play alive. There wasn't anything available. Mershad Dillon was one of those involved, along with Khari Berry, a gain of 1 on the play.
Once again, option to the setback. Good job. They played the 3 technique to the side of the setback, doing a very good job against the run.
And Trey McGowan also in the middle of things. He and David Mayo just about around that football in every single play. So it's 2nd and 9.
2-man option possibly to the right.
Ellison looking to the sideline, now taking the football and setting up to throw. On the boundary, it's Showers trying to make a sliding catch. Did he get it?
No. Bounce off the ground. That is a very interesting fact at the half. 21 rushes for 69 yards, 3 for 97.
Now maybe a passing situation after that incomplete attempt to Kentrell Showers.
What they've done here a lot in third down passing situations, look to the back, swinging in the flat. Look to Breida getting the ball in the flat on a swing route and letting him make a tackle. Letting him make a defender for Texas State miss a tackle.
Breida lines up to the left of Ellison. 3rd down and 9 again. Breida's open underneath. That pass was up for grabs, and it landed at the feet of Aaron Shaw. It was fluttering in there. Neither Bobcat nearby could make a play, but they do get off the field. They'll force a punt from Georgia Southern.
Texas State defensive coordinator John Thompson definitely has a beat on the Eagle offense and is playing very, very well. Now, what you got 2 returners back. Now they're stacked. Last time they were split. Okay, so they got 1 shallow, 1 deep, which I think is a smart move. One's ready for the rugby punt. One's ready for the sky punt.
Nowicki will punt in the direction of Craig Mager. He'll have to make that fair catch and complete it at the 37. So pretty decent field position for Texas State. Down the 11, their first drive upcoming here in our third quarter.
And one thing you don't talk about very much is the gunners, the guys that cover punts. That time it was Brandon Smith, a starting wide receiver, getting down and forcing the fair catch against Mager, who's one of the top punt returners in the country.
Now, Coach, we'll see if Tyler Jones, in your words, maybe has settled down just a bit. He was hot on a couple of his throws, a little bit behind, and really wasn't able to get anything going through the air.
Well, if they're going to get it going, here it is. Right now with the wind at their back, take advantage of this if you're going to go down the field. So I'd look for him to get the ball going through the air at the start of the second half.
Robert Lowe in the game, and Lowe with a decent carry on first down will pick up about 5 up to the 42.
A better push, left side of the offensive line. Adrian Bellard, their top offensive lineman, and Felix Romero at left guard. Good push off the left side.
Bernard Dawson the tackle. So now Tyler Jones, a much better second down situation upcoming. Going to send 3 receivers bunched out here to the right, 2 to the left.
Yeah, they could run screen into the boundary out of this. Not now. Fly sweep.
Jones will keep. Didn't make the right decision. He ran right into 305-pound Jay Ellison. He will be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage.
If that was a read, you're right. He didn't make the right read. The fly sweep was there. He kept it. Offensive guard got beat by Jamal Ellison on the line of scrimmage. Jay Ellison on the line of scrimmage made a good play one-on-one.
That's the first down play from Robert Lowe, but now it's a 3rd down and a short 6 needed. No turnovers today for the Bobcats. In fact, they've not turned the football over in the last 2.5 games, but they need to make a play here. Jones just trying to scramble to keep this one alive, and his throw is underneath, and you talk about a turnover. There it is, the first one in 3 weeks. Antonio Glover with the INT.
Bad decision. He could have run that easily for the first down. That was a bad decision by the quarterback there. Tyler Jones, when he looks at that on film, he'll want to have that play back. You can see it here as he starts to scramble. Nobody in front of him. He can pick up the 5 yards very easily there.
The junior from Atlanta, the pick instead. And that's the first turnover, and Smiles on that Georgia Southern sideline with that INT. We'll take one more look here from the backside.
There's a lot of green grass there.
Bradley Miller the intended target, but you could see Glover close quickly. Good catch as well.
Deion Stanley was 10 yards away from him. That's the one man he had to beat for a 5-yard gain.
B.J. Johnson, the man who leaves the backfield, comes in motion. Ramsby's in the game, and there is Johnson on the left side. Got a pretty good seal block. B.J. Johnson with his 19th catch of the season will pick up about half of the yards needed on first down before Michael Odiari, the Texas native, gets credit for the tackle.
It's a heck of a block right there by the center. Manley St. Amour coming out and making the block on the corner on the perimeter. Came all the way from the center position on the hash mark to make that block to spring it.
And he is on the Remington watch list for the best center in college football. Just named to that list here in the last day or so. But it's 2nd down and 5. Second opportunity with the football here in the second half for Georgia Southern. A couple of rushing touchdowns today, giving them 48 on the year, but they've had tough sledding here recently. Ellison, boy, bounced off that first tackle from Targan, stayed on his feet, picked up a couple of yards, but he'll be 3 yards shy of the marker. It's Sean McGowan who doubled up on that tackle.
Once again, very good assignment football on the perimeter against the 2 faces of the option, the quarterback and the pitch. They have it overloaded. They have more men at the point of attack than Georgia Southern.
Coach, in our open, we talked about these defenses. These are tough offenses to prepare for, but they see it every day in practice. And right now, these defenses look like they're somewhat comfortable defending these offenses.
Oh, they are. They are. They do have a great advantage that they do see it at practice every day.
3rd and 3. Ellison will roll out. He's looking to throw, setting up, throwing to the boundary. His pass into the hands of Showers, and he should have the first down. Needed to get to the 49. He's at the 48. David Mayo, the tackle, but the sticks move.
Nice throw. Nice throw. You know, you just had a flat and corner combination. He take the flat. That's the second time he's run the sprint out. Both times he's hit the flat.
Even on 3rd and 3, you could see him set up, not looking to run, able to complete that pass. This team gets about 115 yards passing a game, so they use it in situations such as that. Move the sticks, get a fresh set of downs. Still waiting to see one of these running backs maybe break off a big play. It's something they've done a lot this year, just not today. There's Ramsby. That pass just out of the reach of a Texas State defender, and Ramsby popped out of bounds by Aaron Shaw on the boundary after he gained 6.
Once again, great block on the perimeter by Georgia State by number 26, Trey Butler, a wide receiver. Once again, it's a wide receiver that just hooking up on the corner to give that running back Ramsby a chance to gain 5 yards.
That's something you noticed on tape all throughout the week, how those wide receivers block.
Oh, they do block. I mean, they are unselfish, and they do a great job of executing their blocking schemes.
2nd and 5. Breida back in the game to the right of Kevin Ellison. Breida with a big hole. We talked about those big games.
This is gone.
There goes Breida to the end zone from 43 yards and a Georgia Southern touchdown. Matt Breida with touchdown number 14 on the ground. There is a marker, though, in the end zone.
This is what I call the zone slice play. It hits front side. This play can hit anywhere from the left tackle back to the right side. It hits front side.
See if our referee, Jeff Hillier, fixed his microphone at half.
Unsportsmanlike conduct's the call after the touchdown.
So the third rushing touchdown of the game for the Eagles. Matt Breida hits the big one. And Alex Hanks on to add this extra point. From the hold of Ryan Nowicki, the punter. And Hanks will pound one right through the pipes. It's 21-3, Georgia Southern. So the Bobcats will get the football back, but now the hill a little bit higher to climb. Georgia Southern's running game. Able to hit the home run here from Matt Breida. Georgia Southern now up 21-3. Coach, they've done a pretty good job, have the Bobcats defending the option, but
here's the problem. When you're overplaying to the side of the setback, the dive play back into the boundary with the slice block right there out of Jeff Ward. Once you get through, there is no safety because he's over to the strong side of the field playing the option. That's why the big hole. A great block by Garrett Fry, and Darian Foreman pops it. Safety's nowhere in the picture.
And there's a man with 4.3, 4.4 speed, so if he can get through that hole, he is dangerous, and that's the third rushing touchdown. Meanwhile, here comes Brandon Smith. Here's a man last year had 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns in one game. No score here, but good field position after the 42 before Sam made the special team stop for Georgia Southern.
Well, they got that field position because the Eagles uncharacteristically had a penalty after a touchdown, which makes it a short kickoff into the wind, which gives Texas State great field position, like you said, at the 42-yard line.
So Tyler Jones' interception on that previous drive set up Georgia Southern, and they went down and punched in their third touchdown this afternoon. So see what the Bobcats have in mind here in this possession. Tyler Jones has been just a little bit off today. Randy Price goes in motion, a little jump pass, and there's Exhibit A as it was intended for Terrence Franks in the flat.
You know, they just don't look in rhythm right now. Right there, they're trying to run power, quarterback power, and they throw play action pass off it. If you look at it, quarterback power might have been a good gain. I haven't seen Tyler Jones really run with the football yet today, and he's got good legs.
He's pretty mobile. He can do some damage. He's been running basically to try and allow him a little longer to set up a pass play. Thinking about running here. Kind of a running jump pass into the hands of Bradley Miller, and he will gain the first down to the 42 of the Eagles.
Now, once again, off play action, trying to take the ball up into the line of scrimmage to hold the linebacker and throw to the tight end in behind it.
Gained 11.
That's a little wrinkle. Good play, but they still got to get back to being able to control first down. They've got to control first down. That was 2nd and 10, made a play, they're back to first down.
Ben Aija, the wide receiver to the left, is an individual they have not been able to get involved yet today. Operate with a pistol formation here. Terrence Franks into the game, and Franks with the handoff. Boy, he was able to churn through some white shirts, pick up almost 8 on first down. Ellison on top of him, but it looked like they had that play bottled up, and the feet kept moving from Franks.
Good job. Power blocking by the offensive line. Down, and run the guard through the hole. Good job of blocking up front.
So the Bobcats quickly to the line of scrimmage. They'll try and snap this one early. 21 seconds on the play clock. Aija comes in motion. It's Franks again. He will grind forward for the first down, carry the football inside the 35. And now the Bobcats, not necessarily at a must-score drive, but they'd love to find the end zone for the first time, and they'll have a 1st and 10 after that 5-yard run.
Yeah, they're 3 scores down right now. This is an important drive for them. They've been playing with 2 tight ends in the game. A little bit more situation where you can get into some power running.
Looked like Jones wanted to run there, and the Eagles had that one sniffed out. Bernard Dawson came crashing in. Coach France sees that play go in reverse.
Well, that's one of the first times you've seen a run blitz there by the Eagle defense, and they hit it right on the head. It looked like it was going to be a quarterback draw, maybe with some power blocking. But you'll see people coming off the edges, and you'll see some movement by the Eagle defense.
So after gaining some momentum, getting a first down, now it's 2nd and 15. Franks lined up to the left. The ball thrown in that direction, but it's into the hands of Bryce Gunter, just his 7th catch of the year. Caleb Williams, the corner, popped him out of bounds. That's a gain of 7.
Now that was good rhythm. Quarterback was in good rhythm there. Nice throw. Feet were set. Good timing. The passing game's all about spacing and timing. That was a very good spacing with the wide receiver, very good timing with the quarterback and the wide receiver.
Are you a believer that a quarterback who might be a little bit off, if you just complete 2 or 3 passes, you can gain some momentum? And as I say that, there's a marker and a walk-off against Texas State, taking them all the way back to their own 45-yard line.
And this is one thing Coach Francione said earlier in the must. Bobcats can't beat Bobcats. And this is the 2nd time that this type of situation has come up where they've taken themselves out of a makeable situation and maybe taken themselves out of scoring position. Because now it's a passing situation. It's going to be a 3-man rush. They're going to drop 8. This is going to be a bluff.
2nd and 30. And it might be worse because Jones just running circles and he's finally dropped. A couple of different, well, there was Daniels along with Dawson. Quan Daniels, the defensive end who's had some playing time, tracked down Jones for another loss.
I mean, they've been a steady diet of either 3 or 4-man rush, 8 under, and Tyler Jones doesn't have any answers right now.
There's your 3rd down conversions. I don't know what you have for a 3rd down and 39.
Not much.
Going to intend that one for Miller. He was
that
popped
could be
hard
a penalty there
by Matt Dobson, and there comes the marker.
That's a first down.
Matt Dobson hit him up around the shoulders, knocked Miller down after that pass was already past him. And what a huge mistake for the Eagles, one of their few this afternoon.
Well, that's very uncharacteristic of this football team. They don't beat themselves too much, but this is going to be a first down for the Texas State Bobcats.
Would have been 4th and about 40 yards to go had that penalty not occurred. Of course, that's an automatic first down, so the Bobcats are back in business. This has been a strange drive path.
Yeah, it's gone back and forth. It's been like a yo-yo, but with a long string. It's gone back and forth in big intervals. And right now, Texas State has another shot at it, and it's caused by an Eagle miscue.
If you're the Bobcats, do you get greedy and think about taking a shot at the end zone, or do you continue to try and find that momentum for those 7, 8, 9-yard plays?
Well, there's so much time left in the game. What you want to do is I think you need to get your quarterback in a rhythm.
Lowe comes in motion, and Jones will keep. And there's the running play from Jones. This one strung out by Matt Dobson, the man who made that tackle, or got the penalty rather, on that high hit. He will track down Jones after he gains 4.
One thing you always notice when you're playing against the Eagles, the ball usually is going lateral. They do a great job of canceling out and moving things towards the sideline. Good team speed.
There's the tight end, Bradley Miller, rumbling in space. He'll have the first down. Much more. He will step out at about the 32. Antonio Glover gave him the push. One of the better plays of the day, though, by Texas State. It picks up 13.
Yeah, big play. You know, watch right here. Bradley Miller gets a free pass into the flat. Couldn't get that back up on film, but Bradley Miller is allowed to escape into the flat with nobody going with him. That's uncharacteristic. You got the fly sweep, track down. Like I said earlier, these plays, you can tell a lot about a defensive team. When things get strung out like that, team speed forces everything to the sideline. The Eagles have very good team speed. They should be off the field right now. This thing shouldn't still be going, but it is.
And there's Jackson. He was in that pile with Lenny Richardson. We'll talk more about Richardson as this game progresses, but it'll be a 2nd down and 10 to go for Texas State.
Texas State's in what I call 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers. Got one in the seam.
There's the big hitter, Bradley Miller, into the end zone for the first Texas State touchdown this afternoon. His second score of the year. Tyler Jones to one of his favorite targets, and the fans here in San Marcos have something to cheer about for the first time.
Well, they let one get loose in the seam. Breakdown in the secondary. Safeties nowhere to be seen in the middle of the field, and they hit big Bradley Miller down the seam.
That is Ryan Carden. I beg your pardon. We weren't expecting him to play today. Ryan Carden into the end zone, the extra point.
Boy, they must have snuck him out here because he wasn't even supposed to be in. I thought I saw that 4. I thought that was Bradley Miller, but Ryan Carden off the bench.
Hey, the Bobcats will take it. There's Ryan Carden. Didn't expect to see him. Instead, he finds the end zone. 21-10, Georgia Southern.
They didn't see him either.
We've got a game again. It's 21-10, and Coach, Georgia Southern this year has completed 1 pass to a tight end. Texas State came in with 42 catches from their tight end. They find Ryan Carden, takes it into the end zone, completing that drive, and it gets the Bobcats back in this game.
I didn't know that was Ryan Carden in the game. I saw the 4. I thought it was Bradley Miller. Ryan Carden, I was under the impression he didn't suit up for this game, but if they brought him out in pads, Georgia Southern didn't see him either because he ran down the seam unabated for a touchdown.
He's had a broken hand with a cast on it, but no problems there as he took it into the end zone. Maybe a returnable ball here. It will not be. Derek Keaton will take a knee. The Eagles will begin from the 25. And Pat, what does Georgia Southern need to do on offense to kind of find their rhythm again here in the second half?
I think they need a long drive. I think they need to just pound the ball. They've been running zone slice. They got power. Right now in their single back triple option game, Texas State's got some answers for that. When they got into 2 backs and ran some of their speed option, 2-man option game, they had a little bit more success. But they haven't gotten the ball pitched all day today. There has not been one time that the ball's been pitched.
Nothing doing on first down. The one thing about this Georgia Southern offense, Pat, they're outscoring their opponents by 23.5 points a game. That is 6th best in the country behind Marshall, Baylor, Ohio State, TCU, and Michigan State. They've had a lot of conference games where they've been able to blow teams out in the second half. If they have to punt this football back to Texas State, Bobcats are right in this one.
Well, this is a team. Here's your 2-back look now. They've had a little success with this. But once again, this ball has not been pitched one time. The triple part of the option has not been used one time today.
Breida and Scott are the 2 men leading the path for Kevin Ellison. Ellison will keep hit hard, able to dive across the 30 and gain a few extra yards. Aaron Shaw was there. The play gained 6, but it'll be 3rd down.
Ellison might be hurt. He's pointing. Something wrong with 4-13 is going to be coming into the game, it looks like.
So Ellison limping off.
Looks like it's his right arm just dangling there. Could be his right shoulder.
Fabian Upshaw, we saw him in the first half. He will come in from time to time. You'd say change of pace quarterback, but it's kind of more of the same for Georgia Southern with what he can bring. All of a sudden, this crowd here in San Marcos at Bobcat Stadium, something to cheer about, wanting this defense to rise up on 3rd and 3.
Like we said earlier, it's 4 big plays now, counting the long Breida run of the second half. 4 big plays have been the difference in this game. The Texas State defense has played at a very high level today against the #1 rushing team in the country.
Little miscommunication with Upshaw coming in. Georgia Southern burns a timeout. We'll step aside. 21-10, Eagles with the lead. Kevin Ellison, the quarterback, having his hand or his wrist attended to by the trainer.
That's his right hand. Yeah, it's right hand, important hand. Big play right here. 140 of their 209 yards rushing on 4 plays.
Upshaw will give to Ramsby, and he was denied the first down. The defense for the Bobcats able to make a stand. The pickup of 2, not enough, and they'll force a punt.
I'll say it again. That is now 211 yards, 140 of it on 4 plays, and this is their 5th punt of the game. We're talking about a team that's only punted coming into this game. Let me see what the stat is on that. This is their 6th punt. I'm sorry, their 6th punt coming into this game. They've only punted 21 times on the season. 6 in this game.
So Nowicki, another one after that tackle by Odiari, forced the 4th down kick. Mager's going to get out of the way. This will actually take a Texas State bounce. Tremendous field position. They'll begin at their 45, coming off a touchdown drive. Now down 11 with the football here in the 3rd quarter.
Well, this game's getting very interesting. The Texas State defense has really played outstanding. And I don't want to be repetitive, but when you think about a team that's averaging 400 yards a game, 140 of their 211 yards are on 4 plays. 4 assignment breakdowns or 4 missed tackles or however that happened. Other than that, they have shut down the Eagle rushing game.
And now we're going to find out if the Bobcats gain some rhythm from that previous drive and the touchdown pass to Ryan Carden.
They're back into that 12 personnel. 2 tight ends, 2 wideouts, 1 running back.
Tyler Jones will keep following his blockers, able to dive into Eagles territory. Nice gain really on 1st down. Antoine Williams wrapped him up, but that's a gain of 6, one of their better 1st down plays.
This is something we talked about. The quarterback has to get involved in the game. If he can't get involved in the passing part of it, he hadn't run all day up until the last 2 series where he's been involved running the football. And Coach Francione's starting to dial up some new stuff, trying to find something that's working for him.
Coach Fran said he's wanted to go no huddle for the first 3 years. Finally said, you know what, this year we're going to do it. Now Jones starting to sling the football around the field. There's Brandon Smith. And Brandon Smith will stay on his feet till about the 26. Antonio Glover, who had a pick earlier, made the tackle, but that's a gain of 23.
Great job of play action. They run speed option to the left, plants his feet, throws it all the way back to the right to a wide receiver coming across the field.
Good looking play and a result for Texas State on the march. Remember, they were down 21-3, and things were looking a little bit bleak here in the 2nd half. Jones will keep again. He faked the handoff to Matt Jones. It was Matt Dobson who dropped the quarterback after he picked up a few yards on the play.
Dobson looks a little shaken up on the play too. Once again, the quarterback keeping the ball. 12 personnel with Bradley in the game. Bradley Miller in the game. That's 2 tight ends, but they can use him as a wide receiver.
This Texas State team, they came so close to winning on the road, they lost at Illinois. They fell here at home to Navy. They're trying to get maybe that signature win to catapult this team. There's Tyler Jones. He's loose. Tyler Jones tackled inside the 10-yard line.
That was quarterback keep all the way. Fake the dive. Bradley Miller coming across a formation, blocking the quarterback player. The man that was responsible for quarterback, Bradley Miller, blocked on the perimeter when he came across in motion.
14 more yards for Jones before Quan Daniels grabbed him around the ankle.
Still 12 personnel in the game, meaning 2 tight ends, 1 running back.
And that running back is Terrence Franks. Boy, took a big hit at the 5, able to spin around for a few additional yards. And Jackson, who else was there to pop him with some help?
But once again, using the 2 tight ends very effectively in this football game. Usually they're either 4 wideouts or 3 wideouts. Now it's 2 tight ends, 2 wideouts. And coming into the game now, we have 2 big tight ends in the game. So they look to be running the football.
2nd and goal from the 5. Smith in motion. Tyler Jones trying to get outside. He's going to be dropped for a loss.
That time it's Deshante Gallen getting penetration, making a play in the backfield. Big play by Gallen, number 37.
Antoine Williams missed all of last year. Came flying in.
3rd and 7. Sub package running into the field for the Eagles. Okay, in the red zone right here, this offensive team from Texas State in the red zone has been 1 possession, no touchdowns, no field goals. Georgia Southern 2 for 2.
3rd and goal here. A throw into the flat. Did he get in?
No.
Terrence Franks down at the 1, or it's low rather.
Here's a big decision. A field goal here still makes it a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. They're going for it.
Could be the final play here in the 3rd quarter. The Bobcats really no hesitation. They're going to go for it. 4th and goal from the 1. And everybody right now at Bobcat Stadium up on their feet. Jones will snap, rolling to the right, facing pressure, throwing, and it's picked off.
Oh, my goodness.
Intercepted. Matt Dobson is going to go. possibly 100 plus. Dobson needs one more block. He's going to get it, and Georgia Southern flips the table. A pick six, 100 plus. 4th and goal from the 1, and Dobson, who made a huge penalty earlier, gets his 3rd interception of the year, takes it all the way back for the score.
Boy, that's a backbreaker right there. What a drive, but what a play by Georgia Southern. The Eagles make a big play. They bend here. They've bent twice here in the second half, but that play right there by Dobson, that turns the tide.
Alex Hanks on to add this extra point after that long return from Dobson. He's going to have to go back on the field here in about a minute. The extra point is up and perfect.
That play was a little bit, got a little bit broken up early. The timing of that route got pushed off a little early, and you can see the result.
How about that for a change of momentum after our 3rd quarter? It's now 28-10. Georgia Southern after the pick six supersized from Dobson. Longest interception return in Georgia Southern history, giving them a 28-10 lead. This is a program trying to improve to 7-0 in conference play. And Pat, they have a lot of things shaken at that university. Yeah,
I had the privilege of going in the Georgia Southern box before the game. Met President Brooks Kerr and his wife. Came there in January 2010, and AD Tom Kleinlein, who got there in 2012. They're in the process of building a $23 million facility that'll be done in 2 years, the new Ted Smith Family Football Center. They're building a mid-deck. They've been working on things for women's basketball and men's basketball. They have got an administration behind President Kerr and AD Tom Kleinlein that wants to go big time, wants to win. Great administrative support at Georgia Southern, the home of the Eagles.
Their 2nd year of a 2-year transition to FBS. There's Terrence Franks, races across the 20, but cannot find any further running room. So right back on the field comes this Georgia Southern defense and this Texas State offense. They were trying to get a 4th down touchdown from the 1-yard line to really tighten up this game. Instead, they're down 18 points, and now we're in the 4th quarter, so you can no longer say there's a lot of time left. So Tyler Jones and company hoping that they can find the momentum that took them down the field, but with better results.
Well, you know, that's a tough one to swallow, and it'll be interesting to see how Texas State reacts here, because now at the start of the 4th quarter, they're starting to run out of a little bit of time, especially if the Eagles control the football on offense. So there's a very big series here.
And they are going into the wind here in the 4th quarter, although it's died down just a bit. Jones will run and scramble up near the 30 before Jackson drops him after a pickup of about 6 on 1st down.
And the quarterback's ability to run the ball here in the second half has really helped them offensively.
Willie Fritz pacing the sidelines. And you're right, Coach. We've seen Jones run much more for Coach Fran here in the second half than he did in the first.
And their personnel groupings are different. They're playing a lot more with 2 tight ends, a more physical approach. Here's the triple option for the first time today.
Just nowhere to go for Jones. And finally, he just took a knee rather than to take another big hit from Edwin Jackson, the leading tackler on this team.
That's a big series for the Eagles. You know, they've had 2 drives on them here in the second half, and I saw them before they came on the field. Their defensive coordinator at Georgia Southern was in their ear hard, and they have responded. A 3rd down stop here, and you could say the message was heard loud and clear.
How about the fact that Texas State has more yards total offense despite trailing in this game 28-10. They need a play here, though. 3rd and 3. That ball rifled, and it's incomplete. Knocked down by... well, who was it that got that football? Deion Stanley came racing, and 29 who knocked it down.
And there's probably a lot of cheering at home. Little Brooke might have got woken up there by that play. Her daddy just made a big play on that pass to the flat.
Well, he made a big play on 4th down earlier. That time, a play will force a 4th down and a punt from Will Johnson. Remember, he's punting into the window. It looks like the flags have died down for the time being. Averages 43.5 a kick. Brandon Thomas stands at his 30. This ball coming right to the 30. Thomas.
Well, that's a penalty.
Looked like he was hit a big early.
Nope, he never fair caught it, so that's not a penalty. Good timing.
It's Bradley Miller who came racing down, the tight end. We had him in the end zone earlier. It was Carter, but he makes the special teams play, and Georgia Southern will scrimmage from their 32.
Well, before that series, the Eagle defensive coordinator was in that team's ear, and they responded with a 3-and-out. They definitely heard the message.
Kevin Ellison back in the game. Remember, he had to come off the field, had his hand looked at, maybe his wrist, and Upshaw had to finish the previous drive. Ellison back in there. Ramsby runs right into 4 or 5 of the Bobcats for a gain of 1 on first down.
I'm still waiting to see them come outside. I haven't seen the pitch on the option yet today. It's a very big part of their offense, but for some reason it hasn't been there today. Whether it's a corner force and they don't think they can get the ball off, I don't know, but they sure haven't shown any part of the third part of the triple option, which is the pitch.
Here's Dillon. He made the stop on that play. 2nd and 9. We're going to be inside 13 minutes to go in the game by the time the Eagles snap the football again.
And they're milking the clock. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. They are milking the clock. Double option. There's the first pitch I've seen today.
The pitch to Breida. And he's dropped shy of the 40-yard line by Aaron Shaw and Trey McGowan.
Now, when you force the quarterback to run laterally that long, it gives the defensive team a chance to rally to the football. The quicker he can get the pitch off, the less time the defense has the chance to rally the football. Good job once again by Texas State stringing that play to the perimeter. That brings up another 3rd down, a 3rd and 3.
Feels like we've had a lot of 3rd and 3s, 3rd and 4s here in the second half. Both of these teams probably used to this sequence.
Well, I think the Eagles are used to it a lot more than Texas State.
See if Breida gets the carry. They'll run the option to the left. Ellison will keep. Ellison will be dropped shy of the marker. McGowan was one of those involved with the stop. Aaron Shaw again. We came in talking about David Mayo averaging 15-plus tackles a game. The linebacking course had all kinds of plays made by Shaw and McGowan this afternoon.
Outstanding option play. Had the quarterback inside out. He couldn't shake him and come back underneath him. They had a man on the pitch immediately, beat the block on the perimeter. Very good job by the Bobcats at Texas State. Defensive coordinator John Thompson has done a very good job today for most of this game defending this high-powered option offense of Georgia Southern.
If you would have guessed the number of punts we would have seen this afternoon, Pat, I probably would have guessed the under. We've had the over. And this ball is going to have to be fielded, and finally is, but that's just to save some additional yards. Really no play for Craig Mager. We will step out with 11:15 to go in the game. The Bobcats have showed some life here in the second half. They need points on this drive. Down to the Eagles, 28-10.
Well, Rose Carter, the SID from Georgia Southern, just brought it to my attention that some angry fans in Statesboro said that I've mispronounced the name of the president. It's Brooks Keel, not Kerr. My apologies.
There you've done it. You've stirred it up. Tyler Jones going up top. That was Bradley Miller. A little bit hot, a little bit high, and he had a lot of yards to run if that ball hit him in stride.
That's another shot in the seam, the middle of the field, and here's a yards comparison. Check this one out. Georgia Southern 217 rushing, but Texas State 118 passing. We knew Georgia Southern wouldn't have much at 41 yards, and Texas State 152. Actually, Texas State has outgained Georgia Southern in today's game, yet trails 28-10 because of the big Dobson interception.
100-plus yard pick six.
Yeah, that doesn't go in the offensive stats.
Especially when Texas State was on the 1-yard line hoping to punch it in for a score to make it a 3-point game. Jones trying to run. Jones angling towards the sideline, and he will jump out at about the 18. He was being pursued by De La Rosa and Dobson. Gain 5. But another 3rd down play upcoming. 3rd and about 4.5.
De La Rosa is the heir apparent for Edwin Jackson, who's a senior. De La Rosa, only a freshman, showing good speed coming out after the quarterback there.
Jones looking left the entire time. There's Ija. Ija will backpedal out of bounds. Did he get the first down? Ija's first catch today.
I think they gave it to him. It looks like he made it.
He'll gain 7 on the play. That's just a tremendous athlete in Ija. All kinds of physical abilities, a long jump, decathlon records, pole vaulter, triple jump, you name it. All he needed was to gain 3 or 4 on that play, and he did.
Best thing about IJ, he knew where the marker was.
Little spin for Jones, and he will fire in the flat for Lawrence White, the big tight end. He'll be popped out of bounds after another 4 or 5 yard pickup.
Boy, that's a big body. He's a senior. 6'7", 240 pounds. That's a massive man.
Wake Forest, North Carolina native.
Oh, a little bunch set. First time I've seen this today. And quarterback under center.
This is a new one. 2nd and 4. Little flip in the flat. That's Randy Price. Price
First
will
down.
Move the sticks again up across the 35. He gained 5, and that seems to be what the Bobcats have been able to do here in the second half. Those 5 and 6 yard plays instead of 2 and 3. But the question is, Pat, do they have to get it going anytime, or is there still enough on the clock where they can get these amounts of gains without getting greedy?
They got 3 more possessions in them, and 3 more possessions are going to have to be touchdowns. But they have 3 more shots probably in this football game.
Play fake to Franks. There's Miller again. He made the diving catch this time.
I'll tell you what, they're beating up the Eagles at the seam. Nobody's rerouting. The wide receiver going down the seam. They're getting on top of the linebackers, and there's no safeties to be found.
34-yard gain. Had he hit Miller in stride, this may have gone the distance, but a great catch by the tight end to lay out to get this big gainer for Texas State.
Yeah, the play action fake is sucking up the linebackers. There's no underneath, and there's no deep coverage. The seam is wide open.
Quick pass this time was dropped in and out of the hands of Bryce Gunter.
Bryce Gunter's only a freshman, 6'3", 195 pounds. He's averaging 19.2 yards per carry, but that one there, he needed to make a play. 2nd and 10.
No Japhus Gaines today, a man who's scored 4 touchdowns this season. Lowe steps up, almost stepped into a sack, and then he did. If he was able to get out, he would have had a chance to make a play, but Justin Ejike, Justice with the sack, and there was another guy we weren't sure how much he would play today, but Ejike dropped him for a loss of 6.
You did a really good job with that name, Ejike. That was a tough one. I was working on that one in the hotel room the other day.
Just glad I don't have to spell it.
Yeah, I write him down so it phonically comes out to me. Is that the proper word?
We can make it.
Okay, sound it out.
3rd and 16.
3-man rush again, 8 under.
A lot of time. This ball is going to be caught for the first down. Brandon Smith at the bottom of that pile with the football. He gains 18 yards.
2 things happened there, and the number one thing was the protection held up long enough for the wide receiver to sit down in the zone. Nice job. That's what Tyler Jones needs to do, that kind of throwing. Now, this is an important series. Like I said, they've got 2 more series after this. This is important that they put one in here.
Their 1 touchdown was a pass to the tight end, Carden. Jones looking to run. Jones will gain the first down and more. He was pushed forward from behind by Antoine Williams. Should have about 11 on the play. Let's see if they mark him back, maybe with that knee touched. If they did, he's a little bit shy of the marker, maybe by a half a yard.
2nd and 1, they didn't give it to him. The quarterback versatility, the ability to run here in the second half has made a big difference.
Coach, is this a matter of Texas State just executing better, or are they getting this Eagles defense a little bit gassed with the amount of time they've been on the field?
I think it's the adjustments that they made at halftime.
Marker comes flying in. That ball sailed way out of bounds, but Lawrence White was impeded around the 6-yard line.
When you talk about time of possession, coming into this football game, Texas State was last in the conference in time of possession, where Georgia Southern was first in the conference. And today, holding on to the football, something that Coach Francione talked to me about before the game. We need to control the ball by getting first downs and keeping our offense on the field. And they've been able to do that, especially here in the second half.
For the Georgia Southern fans saying, hey, wait a minute, that ball was well out of bounds. It was not an interference. It was a holding penalty. The throw doesn't matter. And the football will be marked at the 10, 1st and goal.
Well, if you're going to get it 1st and goal, if you're the Eagles, you want to have it at the 10-yard line, because this field now becomes very short for them. Advantage Eagles. They got to fit it in here tight now.
Two receivers bunched to the left until Miller goes in motion. The handoff goes to Lowe. Lowe near the goal line. And he's a little bit shy. Robert Lowe with a gain of 8 on the play.
Really good push by the offensive line. That was the zone dive with the slice block on the backside by number 14, Bradley Miller.
Quickly to the line of scrimmage for Tyler Jones. He will purge right into the end zone. That should be a Texas State touchdown. No indication yet. And they're going to have to unpile. They're going to mark him a little bit shy.
Oh, I'll be darned.
Boy, it looked like he was across that goal line. Meanwhile, the clock continues to run inside 7 minutes.
Tim Gay's coming into the football game. The big fullback. Look for some type of lead play or play action pass. Number 37, fullback into the football game. I'd say this play's going right.
3rd and goal from the 1.
Power to the right. That's in.
Lowe, Robert Lowe, is he in? Again, no indication. It looks like he's across the goal line. The officials now say Texas State touchdown.
As soon as the big fella came in the game, a 250-pound fullback and the wing on the right-hand side, you can call that play. It's going right, but they just overpowered him at the point of attack.
7th rushing touchdown this season for Robert Lowe. You see the football into the end zone. 2nd touchdown today for Texas State. Boy, you know they'd love to have that pick 6 back now, but they're back in this game pending this extra point.
They don't have enough guys on the field.
A little confusion as they have to send Carden back in. Officials are going to review this one. They will review all scoring plays. Hard to even see if that knee was down. You see the ball across, but hard to see where the knee is. Clock stopped with 6:25 to play. Lowe hoping that play stands and he gets the score. Pat, one way or another, though, this Bobcat offense has been much more efficient here in the second half.
Well, I'll tell you, Dennis Franchione's been doing this a long time. And they didn't have answers early in the game, but once he got a feel for the game, he came out and made some great adjustments in the second half. One of them got the quarterback more involved running the ball. Another one of them going to 12 personnel, 2 big tight ends in the game. They've gotten some big plays in the seam with their tight ends off of play action. So he's made some very good adjustments in this football game. And now, if they make the extra point, 28-17 makes it a 2-score game. But at this time, if they get a field goal, that 2nd touchdown will have to be a 2-point conversion. They'll be down by 11.
It's going to be real hard to overturn this because it's just hard to see the knee and the scrum and the pile for Robert Lowe. This a little different angle.
Yeah, that would be hard to turn over.
You can't even find the ball.
And they called it touchdown, so it has to be something that definitely shows that it's not. You know, when you make a call, there has to be film that really proves you wrong. And in this case, I can't see it on the film. But then again, that's why I'm in the box.
Jeff Hillier gets a nice ovation from the fans at Texas State. The touchdown. There's Coach Fran. You talked about him being a winner, Pat. There are 4 active coaches in football that have more than 200 wins. The list includes Frank Beamer, Steve Spurrier, Brian Kelly, who didn't get one today, by the way, in the desert, and then comes Coach Fran. That's a pretty short list.
All good coaches. You know, you don't get to hang around for 200 wins if you're not a good coach.
Will Johnson on to try and add this extra point to make this an 11-point game, which could be considered a 2-score game, and he pumps one right through. 6:25 to play. Texas State with a long touchdown march.
We got a ball game here, Brett. We have a football game here. And you know what? Everything's going just the way the Bobcats want it. Those flags are dead now, so we should get a good kickoff here. Got to get, and if Texas State gets good coverage, it should be nice. But, you know, before when that wind was blowing, you know, the advantage was having the wind at your back in the 4th quarter, and now that wind is not a factor like it was in the 3rd quarter.
Boy, that's changed. You see that long scoring drive, 13 plays, 87 yards in less than 5 minutes. Now we'll see at this Texas State defense, and they've made some big stops today. They've given up a couple of big plays, but the Bobcats and the fans hoping to see this defense at least give this offense a chance to get back on the field down 11 with a opportunity maybe to tighten up this game even further.
Well, let's look at this here. Time of possession. The time of possession for Georgia Southern is 23, almost 24 minutes, and 29, almost 30 minutes for Texas State. Like I said earlier, Texas State was last in the league in time of possession because of their fast pace. Obviously, Coach Fran has slowed it down a little bit on purpose. I do not think you're going to see the onside kick here. I think they're going to kick it away. That would be my opinion. I think the way their defense is playing right now, they feel they can get the ball back and be in great position to be in this game with 2 more possessions. I don't think we'll see the onside kick.
Well, Derek Keaton is the only man back. He is at the 25. That football should be Texas State ball. I think Will Johnson, the kicker, was there waiting for it to cross the 45 and then pulled the football into his gut.
Well, that's why I'm up in the box instead of being on the sideline, because I would have kicked it away. That's a great call by Dennis Francione and great coverage. Now the question is, did it go the 10 yards? That's what they're looking at right now and discussing. Did it go 10 yards before it was touched?
And Tim Gay down in midfield for the Bobcats. The officials say the ball belongs to Texas State.
Well executed play. Well executed play.
So the kicker recovers the onside kick. And let's face it, Georgia Southern was expecting that, but maybe they weren't expecting Johnson to try and cover his own dribbler.
Self-dribble. Great call there. Great call there. You know, it's always a great call when you get them.
Always.
Always.
The good news, Gay's okay, and he will jog off under his own power. Let's watch this one again. There's Johnson waiting. There goes 10 yards, and he's able to recover.
And a real key there was the block by number 51, Andrew Hamilton, for Texas State, blocking the inside guard in the kickoff return team of Georgia Southern.
They're going to review this one and take another look just to make sure it went 10 yards. I don't think we saw anything from this previous replay that would give us an indication, certainly not from this angle, that it did not go 10.
Watch number 51 just get enough right there to let the kicker be in position to get that ball. It looks like he's past the line. You know, from this angle, it's tough, but it looks like he's past the line.
Will Johnson does a little bit of everything. He's the punter, he's the place kicker, he kicks off, and he recovers onside kicks.
You know, once I was down on a football game 34-7 at halftime once, and we opened up the second half with an onside kick and got it. And we went on to be in position to win the game with a field goal at the end, and instead of kicking the field goal against Air Force Academy, I went for the fake, and it was incomplete. So sort of have some second guesses on that, but kicking an onside kick down 34-7 at halftime, they weren't expecting it.
No, I did not.
You know, that one was, everybody kept saying, boy, that was a gutsy call going for it at the end of the game to win the game. And I said, that had nothing to do with it. The onside kick down 34-7 was the gutsy call, because if they would have recovered it, that game might have been 70-7.
Well, Pat, here comes Tyler Jones back on the field. It was a rough first half. He was a little bit out of sync, out of kilter with some of his passes. Now, after that long scoring drive, he's back out there again. Remember, he had a pick-6 return in excess of 100 yards, but now he's got it going through the air. Completes his pass to Smith at the 40, picks up 14 more yards, and the Bobcats move the sticks.
Another good play by Tyler Jones, stepping out of a sack, manufacturing a play. Like we said at halftime, the two things that we thought Coach Francione would talk about was getting the offensive lineman's face about being more physical and getting Tyler Jones in rhythm. Both of those things have happened in the second half.
Jones kept that play alive with his feet. The football officially marked at the 39 of the Eagles. Terrence Franks leading the way. Jones trying to keep this play alive. This one's up for grabs, intended for Smith. It'll sail out of bounds.
He could have thrown it back that time to Terrence Franks. Terrence Franks was over there waiting by himself. All he had to do was beat Deion Sandley, but Tyler didn't see him.
2nd and 10 for Texas State. You see the clock, not a factor yet, but not a big margin of error for the Bobcats, down 11 points. Franks will shift out to the right. Jones just basically standing in the pocket. Now he's being chased. And it's going to be 3rd and 10.
Well, they tried to drive the tight end down the middle of the field that time, and the Eagle defensive staff has definitely put an end to that. The tight end down the seam was covered very, very well.
Big day for that young man, Bernard Dawson, for Coach Fritz's defense. He has been involved in a lot of pressures of Jones.
3rd and 10, big play here. 11 personnel. We got 3 wideouts on the field now.
3rd down, 10 to go for Texas State after recovering that onside kick. Porter with the bobble. Porter with the catch. Porter should have the first down. Maybe 9.5 right at the marker for a gain of 10. Antoine Williams dropped him, but he was able to catch his own bobble to keep that play alive, and it should be maybe the length of a football shot.
Outstanding play. When you have 8 men dropping and getting zone drop depth, throw to the crossing route underneath for the first down.
Well, that's a bad spot, Coach. I don't care for that at all. It looked like he was at the 29-yard line. Coach Fran wants to call a timeout. Twice Texas State has had their plays reviewed or replayed. One a touchdown, one the onside kick. I think that football should have been at about the 29, which would have been good enough for a first down. We'll see what Coach Fran has after this timeout. We'll step aside. 5:12 to play. The Bobcats on the march, down 11. Our Capital One Impact Performance, courtesy of Matt Dobson. He's had a big day as far as the tackles, Coach, but on the previous 4th down play from the 1, he made the play of the day.
Yes, he did. This game isn't over yet, but up until this point, Matt Dobson, the safety, is the player of the game. The Capital One Cup Impact Performance.
Think about this. Had Texas State settled for a field goal to give them 3 more points, and it didn't go the other 8 for 7, we'd be looking at an entirely different game. That was a 10 or a 14-point swing, but here it is, 4th down, a half a yard to go for Texas State after they recover their own onside kick to try and stay on the field. Handoff.
Power.
Into the line. Did
Stopped.
he get it?
Might be stopped.
You see Edwin Jackson and Jay Ellison at the bottom of the pile for Georgia Southern.
That spot's going to be short. It looks short. It might be inches, but I think it's short. The back tip of the ball is on the 30-yard line, and I think that is short.
Robert Lowe tripped over his own man and did not get that football to the 29. The previous spot, I would contend, was not a good one for Texas State. They did not review it on 4th down, needing basically a half a yard. The Bobcats will find out here in a matter of seconds whether they got it. Georgia Southern football.
Short. The Eagles were ready for that power play. Great stop by the Eagle defense.
Eagles defense showing some emotion as they head off the field. Keep in mind, they were on the field for a 5-minute drive, had to come back on the field after the onside kick was recovered by Texas State, but they get off the field here and give the football back to their offense with 5:08 to play.
Now, this is when you talk to your offensive line, which is the strength of this offensive football team, and say it's your job to ice the game. What I mean by that is you ice it by not letting Texas State see the ball again.
One thing the Eagles have done a great job of really this entire year, holding on to the football. Ellison will keep. Ellison taken down for a loss. Outstanding open field tackle by Dylan Roseman. -2, a loss of 2 on the play.
This Texas State defense has played at a very high level. And this is really the first series that the Eagles have really seen the ball in the 4th quarter today. A team that has controlled time of possession through their first 9 games has found themselves on the short end of the stick in this one.
2nd down, 12, facing Georgia Southern. You see Ellison milking more of that play clock. It's down to 3. He's got to snap it. Breida, the man lined up to his right. They've got to snap it. I don't think they got it off.
No, they didn't. Delay a game. Looked like they were going with the zone cut there. What I mean by the zone cut is the dive to the running back with the H, the number 96, the tight end H player coming across the formation and cutting the backside of the defense.
All right, Pat, Ellison was motioning towards the center like he was indicating with his arm or his leg the ball should have been snapped. That wouldn't have been a silent count, would it? Couldn't he have called that with his verbal cues?
Well, see, what they do is they look to the sideline to get the play. The center might have still been making his calls, and then the center in this offense, the guard doesn't look back, the center looks back for the cue, and he was probably up making calls.
So 2nd and 17, but it also stops the clock with 4:19. So a big play here will give the Bobcats a little better shot then on 3rd down to get off the field. Ellison will keep. Ellison will run into a couple of Bobcats. Odiari was the man on the top. Underneath, it was Colby Targan. 1 yard on the play. 3rd and long as we go inside 4 minutes before the Eagles snap again.
Well, and they're going to milk this clock down as far as they can. Something that Georgia Southern's really not used to doing is milking the clock. So the offensive line trying to make their calls, you know, it can cause a problem. Right now they see it. They're looking to the sideline, making their call. 15 seconds left on the clock. Now, once the center gets the call, he's got to call things out to the offensive line, which he does. His head's between his legs. He sees the quarterback point down. Now the snap comes.
See how daring they are. They will not put it up. Instead, it's Breida with a head of steam. Breida trying to get outside. He picked up quite a few, but he's popped at the 35 by Craig Mager. He also stops the clock by going out of bounds, and the punt unit will come on.
That's something that will definitely be discussed in team meetings. That is not a smart move by the running back, Matt Breida. You got to keep that ball in bounds. If you can't get the first, don't go out of bounds at this time in the game when all the momentum right now is with Texas State.
Needed 16, he got 12.
No wind right now. I look at Texas State lining up, and it doesn't look like they're going for a block here. It looks like they'll probably be working a return.
No wiki to punch. You know Craig Mager wants a chance to make a play for Texas State.
Why was the clock still running there? Didn't he go out of bounds?
Tremendous kick he did. Mager will make the fair catch at the 23.
My question is, did that ball, I never saw the clock stop. The clock was running. It looked to me like Matt Breida went out of bounds. And the clock kept running. If I'm Coach Francione, I'd look at the clock unless I missed something.
Right now, Coach Francione talking to his assistants before his offense comes back on the field with 2:56 officially to play. Bobcats down 11. This was a 14-3 game at the half. Georgia Southern scored first in the 3rd quarter. Right now, the assistant still talking with the official nearest the Texas State sideline.
I think it was about the clock. I'm pretty sure that play with Breida was out of bounds, but I might be wrong.
Tyler Jones was tripped up. It was the man on the line of scrimmage, Jamal Johnson, to Statesboro, Georgia, the hometown kid who got that big arm out to trip up the QB for Texas State.
A lot of valuable time coming off the clock there. They still have 2 timeouts. Plenty of time in this drive.
Jones snaps this one quickly, looking downfield over the middle. A little bit high and out of the hands of Miller again. Edwin Jackson met him one more time from his middle linebacking position.
Boy, that's a tight window to get into. Double covered, tight window. Ball was catchable, though.
Seems like there's been about 3 or 4 of those passes just a little bit behind, a little bit high for the wide receivers, but still ones that could have been caught. But now, huge play, 3rd and 9. Bobcats need to make a play. Jones firing to the corner. Ija tried to keep his foot in bounds and did. Great catch, good concentration. Football marked at the 31.
That's a great job by Ben Ija. 6'3", 215. Got the sticks, got out of bounds. Clock stopped, 2:24, 2 timeouts. Plenty of time for the Bobcats.
See it again as he kept that foot in bounds. Gain of 13. Bobcats snapping again. Quick pass up near midfield. Into the hands of Lawrence White. Well, he's tough to defend.
Well, he's a huge target, and he bodies people off. He's got large window. What I mean is arm length. So, you know, he can catch the ball in a lot of different spots and keep the defender off him, like posting up in basketball.
18 more yards on the pickup. The Bobcats near midfield, but we'll go inside. 2 minutes to go. There's Ija trying to get outside. Ija with great speed. He'll have the first down. Ija jumps out at about the 37. Moves the sticks for Texas State. 14-yard pickup.
That's 2 times now in the last about maybe 6 throws that the quarterback has hit a shallow crosser underneath the zone droppers of Georgia Southern.
Officials conferring. There's a flag down at the 30.
It might be the Georgia Southern coach was out on the field giving directions. He was all the way out to the numbers. That might be an infraction against the Georgia Southern sideline. It's a warning.
One more would be a penalty.
Yeah, I've gotten a few of those in my time. Sometimes you just need to get a little closer so they can hear you.
So Jones back looking for the deep ball. That ball was caught but out of bounds by Smith. The corner down for the Eagles Hard to see that number. It might be Darius Jones. The other number 5, Brandon Smith, caught it. Let's see how far he was out of bounds. Both feet out.
Well, when you're running a fade route of any kind, you got to stay close to the numbers. You got to give the quarterback somewhere to drop the ball. You gave him no chance. They're not ready. They're not set up and ready to go.
Georgia Southern not ready at all. Quick sideline screen to Price, and he'll gain 7 or 8 to the 30, but now the clock running. He did not get the first down.
I think they were yelling at him from the sideline, and those guys never got lined up. They better get going because the pace now for the first time really in the game has sped up.
Another 3rd and short, 3rd and 3. This is about where Texas State turned it over on downs on the previous drive. This time they'll complete the pass for a first down into the hands of Mercer. Demond Mercer with the catch, the Lamarck, Texas native. Clock stopped, 1:23 to play.
Well, playing zone, soft zone. Texas State is picking them apart. Maybe it's time to bring pressure, get up in the receivers' faces, and that's what's happening. The 2 corners are moving up on the perimeter.
Bobcats needing
Still
into the end zone.
3-man rush. Still just a 3-man rush. Plenty of time.
There's Ija. Oh, it was knocked away at the last second. Strong defensive play made by Nick Wright in the end zone.
It's an outstanding play by Nick Wright. He's had 6 pass breakups on the season. Outstanding play right there, reaching up for the ball, getting a piece of it. That was a well-thrown pass. 2nd and 10, 1:18. Plenty of time with 2 timeouts. First blitz I've seen tonight, and they hit him.
That ball floats out to the corner.
That could be PI, though.
And there it is.
And there is no need for that one because they finally brought that's the first time tonight we've seen the blitz. They brought the cross blitz strong. Second linebacker came free. Hit Tyler Jones right in the face.
Deion Stanley just didn't know where the football was at when it was up for grabs.
This is very uncharacteristic of the Eagles. They've made a lot of mistakes. Now watch here. This is the first time they've brought pressure. Second linebacker comes free. That ball's uncatchable ball, but there, number 29, Deion Stanley, poor judgment. Plenty of time right here. Still 2 timeouts. 1st and 10 from the 6. Empty.
Jones slinging one into the end zone behind Ija. Two Bobcats in the similar locations, so it'll be 2nd down and goal from the 6. And now Lawrence White, the big tight end, also back in the game. The Bobcats obviously want to score, but they got to have some time left to try the onside kick to get the football back to score again. Down 11. Jones sensing the pressure, throwing into the back corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Lawrence White. He caught one last week at New Mexico State. And on the receiving end of a Tyler Jones throw, and don't go anywhere, the Bobcats still alive. They're going to go for 2, of course, now down 5 points. Well, Pat, you talked about all the 2-point conversions the Bobcats prepare for each week. We'll see which one they dial up here.
Well, in a game against Texas A&M, when Coach Francione was the coach of Texas A&M, I was at Fresno State. It went 3 overtimes. I used my 2-point play to get to overtime, and when it came time for a critical play, I had used my best play. That's when Coach Francione said, I always have 5. And sure enough, I saw his play sheet. He has 5 of them.
Robert Lowe racing out to the right. Jones going to try to run for it. Tyler Jones reaching for the goal line. He's in. It's a 3-point game.
Well, it's been the 3-man rush the whole game. Quarterback draw. Good call. That's a good gamble because I'd say out of the 3-man fronts, if they've run it 12 times, they've had 1 pressure. That was the one we saw a couple plays ago that they got the pass interference on. That time, 3-man pressure again. Quarterback draw. Boom. Big play.
What great awareness, too, to know he had to extend and reach for that football with his knee coming so close to touching shy.
Well, Tyler Jones' legs, we talked about it at halftime, has become a big part of the second half. Well, if it goes into overtime, we know he's got 4 more left on his card.
Let's see if he has another onside kick recovery. It worked on the previous drive with Will Johnson, the kicker. grabbing his own football, his own kick, 11 yards downfield. They need it here because they only have 2 timeouts. If they had 3, you'd have maybe a shot to stop him and at least get the football back, but not the case here with 2.
I saw Coach Fran before the game. I said, come on, let me see the 5 plays. And sure enough, he showed me the play sheet. He has 5. I didn't read them or anything like that, but I knew he had 5 because there were 5 different plays under 2-point play. Well, now the onside kick's coming for sure. Now they've already seen the the kicker dribble play. I wonder if they have another one here. Once again, if you're going to have your kicker get the ball, the 2 men that line up next to the kicker in kickoff formation are the key blockers to knock people out of the way so the quarterback can make that play. If you're Georgia Southern, what you have to do, if you get the dribbler, you have to have somebody up front that's going to attack the football. This one here looks like he's going to be kicking it to the wide side of the field, but he could reverse it and bring it this way. And he's doing it.
Lowe and Franks are on the right side. The football will come to the left, and it's into the hands easily of L.A. Ramsby. Not even a contested play. The Eagles will have the football with 1:03 remaining.
Well, here, when you look at your play card with 2 timeouts in 1:03, it's going to be very, very tough. This clock can run down. They're going to call a timeout after first down. Okay, and then they're going to get 2 40-second runoffs. This game should be over. If you had 3 timeouts, yeah, they got 2 timeouts left. If you had 3 timeouts, you'd have a chance. But with 2 timeouts, they can get a runoff here.
Ellison had to miss a couple of series. Coach Fritz just loves his maturity, his leadership, his toughness, and he's showing off that toughness here. Trying to milk the clock and beat Coach Fran in a well-played Sun Belt Conference game. There's Ramsey. He lost the football!
Ground. They knocked it out. Unbelievable.
Eagles say they have it, and they might be back on top of it. That football was on the carpet for a couple of seconds. It is the center, Manri St. Amour, who came up with the ball.
Very, very fortunate there.
See this one again.
Zone slice. The ball stripped right there by number 63.
Boy, just landed.
Dallas McClarty.
Right there at the center's feet. Had that ball been on the carpet, you see enough Bobcats, they would have been around the football to grab it. Really a fortunate break for Coach Fritz and his team to have that ball land in one of their linemen's hands.
All you have to do is knee the ball here. They've only got 1 timeout left with 46 seconds. If they call a timeout here, when they knee the ball, there might be by the time they blow the whistle, maybe 43 seconds. So now you have 43 seconds, you run a play, 40 seconds, run off, 3 seconds left. So this game's over if you just secure the football. But I'll tell you what, Texas State, defensively especially, played an outstanding game. And offensively, second half, great adjustments.
Quickly on Coach Fritz, here was a guy this week, Coach, he told us that country music entertainer Cole Swindell, if he won the CMA, he was going to wear his Georgia Southern hat. Luke Bryan, another Georgia Southern guy, won it. You said, who? Luke Bryan?
Yeah, I'm a Led Zeppelin guy, AC/DC. I was brought up in the rock and roll times. When I was a youngster, I was listening to that kind of music. I never listened to the country western.
Coach Fritz said there's 2 types, country and western. Well, there's 2 types of games, winning and losing. His team has done a lot of winning. They just need to hold on to the football to secure another. That last one, though, was fumbled, so Ramsby's not in the game. It's Breida instead. Breida with a head of steam, holding onto that football with 2 hands as Trey McGowan.
The clock never moved. It was 46 seconds when we started. It's still 46 seconds. If I'm Coach Fritz over there, I'm talking to one of those guys in the stripes about that clock never starting.
Let's see what Georgia Southern has ahead of them on their schedule as we get this sorted out with the timeout and the clock.
That clock never moved. That's critical. There should be 40 seconds left in this football game.
46 still up on the scoreboard. You see the Eagles, they will be at Navy, and then they will have UL Monroe. And again, there's no guarantee they will be in a bowl game. They need to hope that there's not enough eligible teams, even if they win out and finish this season with a record of 10-2.
Well, there's a lot of 6-6 teams in this country that might be in the Power 5 conferences that would get beat straight up by this Georgia Southern football team, and it would be a crime if they finish this season without losing another game not to go to a bowl game, because they deserve to go.
See if Ellison tries to run off a few seconds here just to milk that clock even further on 3rd down and 4. He's going to run right into the line. Ellison spun around, and he's dropped a couple of yards shy of the marker.
Now, this clock, they can run it all the way down now. It was 46 seconds when it started. There should only be about 2 or 3 seconds left on the clock.
Originally, the play clock, I think, was inside the allotted time left, but they reset it. Now it's ticking away, and they will not. Well, now the officials have stopped the game clock.
I don't know what's going on.
Well, Coach, you got to explain this to me.
We had 46 seconds, and no time ran off the clock, and
game clock at 42 seconds.
Wow.
But, of course, the play clock at 40 would have to start immediately on the whistle.
Yeah, there'll be 2 seconds left. They can call timeout, have 2 seconds left. I'd run the ball down to 2 seconds left and make a decision. I'd take the quarterback with the ball and let him run around for 2 seconds, let this game in.
I was watching the play clock, and there was some discrepancies. Coach Fritz probably doing the same thing.
They're going to run this clock down. They're going to let it. They're going to let it go down. There'll be 1 second left. 2 seconds left on the clock. There'll be 2 seconds left on the clock. They'll call timeout, and then on 4th down, they'll run the football, and the game will be over.
Georgia Southern coaches to our left started to celebrate when they saw the clock, and then they got quiet as they put a few seconds back.
I'm a little confused what happened with the clock myself, because when I looked up there, I was thinking in my mind 46 seconds. I used to have a sheet with me that told me everything about it, but with 42 seconds left, I knew that I didn't have to do anything except just take care of the football.
Timeout called with 2 seconds to go, and of course Georgia Southern can just run off these remaining seconds and seal a 28-25 win. Texas State was hoping to become bowl eligible today, and their schedule not easy these next couple of weeks with South Alabama and Arkansas State before they finish at Georgia State.
I tell you what, Coach Francione and the Texas State program has come a long way in his 3 years here. They've got a very competitive football team and gave Georgia Southern everything they could handle today on both sides of the football. But let's not take anything away from Georgia Southern either. This football team came up here today, and they know how to win. When the game got tight, they knew how to finish it. When Texas State got down there, they made the big play on the goal line. That's what good teams do. Now right here, you can take the ball, take about 3 or 4 steps backwards, and take a knee.
Ellison, the quarterback,
go back,
will
go
continue
down,
to backpedal, take a knee, and that will do it. Georgia Southern, the Eagles come on the road and earn a 28-25 Sun Belt Conference victory, and they improve to 8-2 overall, 7-0 in league play. And Coach, it was that pick 6 for 100+ yards by Matt Dobson that they'll be talking about in these parts for a long time. That kind of sealed this game, or at least gave the Golden Eagles a tremendous shot to win it, or the Eagles, I should say.
I'll tell you this, Pittsburgh State can be very proud tonight. 2 alums right out there in the middle of the field. Outstanding coaches with outstanding football programs.